Okay, chat, welcome in. The REMINGTOM pod is live, and we're not gonna try to pretend to be hockey fans tonight. That's for sure. We know we definitely stick to our sports. Chat, LeVar Ball would be proud. Stay in your lane, chat. I don't know if that's what he was talking about when he was talking about that, but at least for the REMINGTOM pod, we stick to the sports that we are familiar with: football, basketball, ultimate frisbee. UFC. There's more in the mix as well too. But there's our main group. Unfortunately, hockey has not necessarily made it in that group yet, chat. Of course, baseball still on the outside looking in, but hockey is on tonight. There's been a great pacing of the hockey to the NBA alternate factor of it, and there was, of course, I think a lot of people just as it fell in the air, those first couple of games in the NBA finals were just really spaced out. It felt like there was like a lot of time to have to wait between those games, and not necessarily because the way the finals have played out in total, like I don't know if it ultimately has mattered, and the finals have felt so great. Pause, chat. Early start, but the finals have been such a great finals. They've been such an entertaining finals through the 6 games. So headed into Game 6 tomorrow, Friday night. Thursday, Friday. I will have to double check. I think it's Thursday night, but because we can't even keep track of the days anymore between just the games and the normal live stream days. But we're locked in. It's a Tuesday night. It's the Stanley Cup Finals on in the background and getting us warmed up for the elimination game vibes as well too. Like we're saying, Game 6 in the NBA Finals. We have now Game 6 for the Stanley Cup, but this was arguably more dramatic earlier in the playoffs as well. But again, the Pacers and the Thunders have been competitive the last couple of games, and there is, of course, we're going to be watching Shaft a little bit later. Hey, chat, but Nick Fury, shout out 2000 in the remake of when was the original one dropped in the 70s? I don't remember exactly what year, but the Samuel L. Jackson version, chat, 25 years later, giving it the old spin back. No. I already tell you right now, it's not One More Time unless they like accidentally delete the file off of Paramount Plus, which would be tragic. Chat, imagine you just lose. They're like some interns like, oh man, I just lost the Samuel Jackson Shaft movie. It's gonna be a tough one to say, chat. For the night, but I think you guys will catch the vibe. It is what it is. So for hockey, you've got to go through quite a few national anthems, chat. It is what it is. Oh wait, the guy's gonna sing them both. Is he dual citizenship? What's going on here, chat? Hey, I guess when you get into the Olympics and stuff, I guess it just shows you how much hockey we watch. Maybe that's more common in hockey, but and then the Raptors. How many times have the Raptors made the finals, anyways, chat? Where you're gonna be watching the national anthem, in the national televised version of the game, that part of the broadcast being shown. Like, and the Raptors have only been in the one series, so. It would, and then they of course are Toronto, so it would just be the fact that they're playing it in the American team that they're playing against. So if imagine, chat, the NBA expands into Canada, I guess it would have to, because chat, a map of Canada or early to start, but it would have to, because where's Vancouver at compared to? Is that crazy, chat? I mean, I feel like, as we've said before, I would defend our map skills. I think the REMINGTOM pod in a map quiz, I think we're doing pretty good, chat. Like U.S. states, capital cities, I feel like we could get some list and stuff. Canada, chat, we just searched Canada. Okay, nice, beautiful pictures of Canada. Shout out. Canada map. Maybe a little bit more specific. Let's see here. Where would the NBA teams go, chat? So yeah, Toronto, of course. More Eastern Conference over there. In the more of the like Detroit, Lake Michigan area is what we're looking for there. I guess is this Lake Michigan's right here. So yeah, the Great Lakes area of the. See, chat, I guess we're not geniuses of the map, but the knowledge is in there somewhere. That's what, does that count on if you're like taking a quiz, chat? You're like, I do know the answer. It's not clicking at the moment, but I was gonna say, okay, Vancouver is in the West, and I guess they were in the West as well too back in the day, but that was before our time, so I just wasn't thinking about it right at the top. But also, wait, can we get this world map thing off, chat? Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton. Edmonton has NHL, of course, so they could have. I guess I don't know if they're an NBA city or not. Are we going to the Chat GPT early? What cities in Canada are the best for NBA teams? Because I guess what are like? I guess Calgary's. I feel like I've seen some pictures of the Calgary skyline. I feel like that's not bad. So, I guess I was going to say, do we want to get distracted from the game chat? But that's right. It's not a game that we even know anything about. Connor McDavid, that's a name that we definitely know for sure. So, as we learn more here tonight, what's going on. And I guess for the Panthers are winning the series. So is that what this series is, chat? The Panthers as the better team, McDavid as sort of the star player. Is this, I guess, I don't know, because I assume this wouldn't be, well, it wouldn't be 2017 Warriors versus Cavs, because Cavs only made it to 5 games that year. Warriors were just too dominant. But could this be a little, because you got like Celtics, as we mentioned in the last live stream, Celtics versus Warriors, you could still make the case that the Warriors were a better team, but it was a close matchup, and definitely with the way, of course, the Celtics were ascending in the youth of that team, there's a case that they should have been the better team if they all played up to the peak of their powers, taking out sort of the Steph Curry factor. But again, the Steph Curry factor of it is what won the series. So I don't know if this is comparable in that way. Could McDavid win these next 2? I don't know. Hockey fans, let us know. Is that like a crazy thing to say? I don't even know, of course, what the odds were for this one in the game as well, too. I guess that'd be a good start to help us gauge where we're at. Over 6.5 for the Oilers. The Panthers minus 165 on the money line. Oh, the spread. Here we go, chat. Minus 1.5. So it's a close game. Either way, I guess, it's hockey, chat. How many points are you winning by in hockey? But, so wait, what is 6.5? Is that like, that's not shots on goal or whatever. Okay, so the total for the game is 5.5 goals. Okay, chat. I mean, the Panthers, I guess, got 5 goals themselves in the last game. The Oilers with 5. Hey, yo. Kane? Oh, that's not Patrick Kane. Shout out Patrick Kane. I guess I feel like we've looked up Patrick Kane if he's still playing or not. But we'll just have to get better with the retention chat. It is what it is. But I guess what we were going to say is, yeah, if you had a Western Conference team in the NBA Finals, you could have potentially a Star-Spangled Banner, we should say. Because I guess, a national anthem is just whatever national is your anthem, I guess. But, the Star-Spangled Banner version of it could not be played at the NBA Finals. A first ever, chat, for the NBA, not necessarily. I guess would signify the NBA, of course, continuing to go global. I mean, obviously. But with the transition would have been made purely, I guess, the players had definitely taken over the last couple of years, of course, internationally, at least from a dominant standpoint. I guess we don't know, is it like a complete 50-50, American-born versus international-born players in the league right now? But also, I mean, as is with the country chat, of course, as in a good way, like of course, the culture, the melting pot that is, like, there's going to be people with the American birth title that, I guess if we get them in the international playing pool, they're going to have a little flexibility as well too. But again, the idea of the foreign-born player, how the development cycle of that, not necessarily growing up with the American basketball. That's, I guess, really is the way to say it too. It's not trying to be ignorant to the full scope of it. It's not just a basketball conversation; it's a full scope conversation as well too. But from a basketball, just not growing up in the American basketball system, how are those international systems competing with American basketball systems? Oh, chat, we've got the We Up music video, 50 Cent featuring Kendrick Lamar. Okay, we were in competitive mindset there for a second. Well, I guess, even if you're on, I guess if Kendrick's on the verse, it doesn't even matter if it's your own song. He'll go verses with anybody, chat. It is what it is. Would he be a good teammate in the NBA, chat? Would Kendrick be a good teammate? Would he start, I don't think he would. Well, obviously he would be a good, the West Coast is going to be like, oh, Kendrick, lift up the West Coast. I guess, the idea of him not dropping a diss track, could it be a little Kobe-ish? Kendrick, I mean, Kobe, 3 titles as the sidekick to, quote unquote, sidekick to Shaq, but really a 1B. I just saw a clip of Kobe and Shaq interacting. It was after the third finals. I feel like I'd never seen this clip, or it had just been a while since, I'd been through the algorithm, but I definitely hadn't seen it on like Instagram or anything before, but I feel like I hadn't seen it in like a documentary or anything as well. But so I don't know, Unearthed, but also we just don't watch a ton of documentaries, so we found out why we haven't seen the clip yet. But it was of Shaq and Kobe in a hallway after the finals, and of course, I mean, we could probably just find the clip, chat. Let me see if I saved it, Because if I saved it, then I can just, of course, pull it up pretty easily. But, so I don't know if I want to spoil it or not. But, oh yeah, of course, I don't think I did, chat. Saving the non-important stuff, as you would expect. Why do I have Kawhi Leonard in a Grizzlies jersey saved? Ayo, chat. Biggest, what would NBA's trades look like today? This was if trades, so like what would the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce trade look like today? And they were saying it would be Kawhi versus Harden going to the Grizzlies. So the Brooklyn Nets in 2013 are the Grizzlies now, but did the Brooklyn Nets, so that would be like if the Brooklyn Nets traded Darren Williams to whoever the Magic are in 2025. I don't know, chat, but yeah, apparently we didn't save this one that we're looking for. But it was basically just Shaq and Kobe interacting, and Shaq basically just tells Kobe that Kobe has an MJ jersey on, and Shaq tells him that he just needs to put his own jersey on, which is, it's a cool, we got to find the scene, chat. I must have just Shaq Kobe scene. It's almost a movie scene. Like Shaq is, I mean, he had been in Blue Chips at this point. So, Blue Chips and 3 titles. Like he was well versed. Oh yeah, it's right here, chat. It's I mean, it's definitely, the picture, obviously, Kobe. We're not going to get copyright striked for a 278 view video. Whoa, chat. More people need to see this clip. Maybe it is unearthed. Can you guys hear it? Wait, my earbuds are probably broke, so I can't hear anything. Okay, as I'm stupidly talking over this clip, chat, we'll just start it over. Is it audio? Oh, wait, do I not have the audio on? Okay, chat, my bad. Okay, there it is. I think I got the computer on.
Sum it up.
Okay, I guess because, we're used. I'm just sitting here watching the clip in silence. Ayo, chat.
Dominant.
You take that jersey and put your own jersey on, play.
About time now?
Yeah.
Holla! Holla! 1-2.
Baddest duo ever, Superman and Batman.
Yeah, so he says Superman and Batman, chat, but that is obviously a great teammate moment, and the Shaq Kobe dynamic of it all was, documentary worthy throughout their career. But I think they're obviously, it's great that they were able to have the moments post career where they were having the interviews and making up and all that different stuff, chat. But that is just it's a cold line. I feel like, did he steal that from somebody? But those are those original type moments. Did Tatum whisper in Al Horford's ear I'm gonna put on Kobe's jersey, but then you're going to tell me, you need to put your own jersey on or something like that after the finals. Who knows, chat? But, yeah, shout out to Shaq. So what we were saying, would Kendrick be a little Kobe-ish if he was playing for a team? Because he could be a little kind of kept to himself, the mom mentality. But I feel like on the court, Kendrick, is he a 2-guard like Kobe? I guess that's a question as well, too. Is Kendrick a little more point guardish, chat? But, as a shot maker as well, I don't know if he goes the same sort of, but he is, as we saw in the battle, chat, with some of those tracks, would MJ drop a Meet the Grams? I think MJ would drop the well, I almost feel like that's almost like Kevin Garnett. MJ, the trash talking is definitely there for MJ. This is where we're out of our area a little bit, not being necessarily around there for the 90s in the same way, but Kevin Garnett, I think, at least for some of the more modern guys, is the number one sort of trash talker. I honestly think Bird is, if we're going historically, sort of merger to 2000s and then 2000s to now, Bird might be sort of the pre-merger or the post-merger pre-LeBron. You said we're saying pre-LeBron, post-MJ, however you want to phrase it. But the merger to 2000, Bird might be the number one trash talker, chat. I don't know. We go to the chat GPT, NBA best trash talkers, and see what it says. It's going to give us Bird. It's going to give us Garnett. Gary Payton as well, too. How can we forget about Gary Payton? But also, there's a quantity to quality aspect of it as well, too. Is Gary Payton a little Drake, chat? Gary Payton will drop an album every year, but Kevin Garnett, when the trash talk, when Kevin Garnett is trash talking, I guess Kevin Garnett, there is a volume there, with Kevin Garnett, with the trash talk as well, too. He's like the guy that's able to trash talk, drop an album, make a movie every year, but somehow it's like, oh man, he's going to win, best movie at the Oscars. I guess there is no, well, we'd have to go back and look at history, but I guess it just takes time to make a movie as well, too. How could you make a movie every year? Maybe with some of the movies we've been watching on Tubi, chat, those directors, I mean, you can make a couple of movies every year. Make no mistake, you're not necessarily putting in a ton of time in the production, but I don't know, the replay value is definitely still holding up as well too. But Florida did get the first goal of the game, chat, so again, maybe the better team here is going to end up closing it out. And they're at home, so they're going to be extra motivated to win it at home. And let's see, have they ever won a Stanley Cup Finals? Because, again, we don't know anything about hockey history. But if you don't know anything about hockey history, chat, you at least know that Wayne Gretzky was on the Oilers at one point. So I'm going to just assume that Gretzky won a title for the Oilers when he was there. And also Gretzky was on a couple of teams, but Oilers and Kings, I believe, were his main teams. So I'm assuming Gretzky, good enough to win titles for both, chat? Yeah, 5 Stanley Cups, chat, for him. I was going to say, wait, 5 in 5 appearances? So NHL championships, is it just clarifying that it's Stanley Cups there? Or is that appearances and wins? I don't know. I guess we'll see if the Panthers have it listed differently. But, and I guess, I don't know if they actually won with Gretzky on the team. Wait, when does... Oh, that's for the coaches, chat. I guess it doesn't have like a best player listed. Wait, Gretzky? When was his actual years played? Oh, excuse me, chat. Hey, yo. I guess here we go. We can actually see when he won the rings. Oh, whoa! Oh, chat, another Hiccups episode? Live on the pod? That would be unfortunate. Oh, chat, we're going to cut the break to stop the hiccups. Oh, no. Or just sit here and watch... Oh, more of the games in silence. Oh, chat. What is... Oh. Hiccups all over the place. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Okay, chat, give me a second. Oh, well, cut to break. We'll be right back. Oh, okay, Chad, I think we're good. Wait a second. I think we're good. All is calm. Okay, wait. Okay, now back to Gretzky research. Yeah, so Gretzky did win all of it. So he didn't actually win a title for the Kings. Oh, Gretzky's slacking, chat. Hey, yo. So is the Smythe a playoff award then? Or is that a regular... The Smythe is like the... Oh, is hockey the one with the playoff award versus the finals award? Maybe they have both because they have a lot of names. Yeah, Bing, Ross, Smythe, Pearson, Hart. Whoa, chat. A lot of them. Maybe the NBA is going crazy with their names, but hockey's even more so. So, Panthers, chat. I guess the Panthers having no titles would be funny because, of course, the Panthers in the NFL don't have a title as well, too. So, like, would the Panthers be the least successful franchise team name in history? Ayo. Oh, they do have one Stanley Cup. One Stanley Cup. Oh, chat, they won it last year. Oh, they're going back to back. Oh, it's a dynasty. Oh, chat, that shows you that we just were not locked in on hockey at all last year. Hey, yo. It is what it is, chat. And I guess they lost the Stanley Cup final. Oh, so they've been around since the 93-94. Lost the Stanley Cup final in 95-96. But since then. And then made the Stanley Cup final 2 years ago in 22-23. So they've been in the Stanley Cup finals the last 3 years. But Maurice, chat. Who's this Maurice guy? This guy needs to be in the... Paul Maurice? Whoa, chat, wait a second. Are we got the right years listed here? Do we have this listed backwards? Why is it giving us Paul? That's not the right Paul Maurice, chat. What's going on here? Why is this photo in black and white? Who is this guy? Why does this look like it's like some guy that's born in, 1832 or whatever? I guess with the history of photography, chat, it starts getting sketchy with the years. But why is the hockey photos listed in black and white, chat? Ayo. I mean, Paul Maurice, it could be an older name as well too, but I guess not, chat. Paul Maurice, just a current guy. Somehow, for some reason, they're doing black and white photos though for this coach. A mugshot for Paul Maurice. I mean, it gives also like sort of old school Chicago gangster vibes as well. Like Paul Maurice definitely could have been in Al Capone's crew, chat. Do we need to cast Paul Maurice in a mobster movie? We might have to, chat. Paul Maurice in a hockey mob movie? Paul Maurice, we start recasting Shaft. Cancel us now, chat. But Paul Maurice is a Shaft villain, maybe. Oh, chat. Hey, yo. IT, write that down. I don't know if we cook that up now or wait till we get to the Shaft watch along. But hey, pause. But Paul Maurice, Shaft on skates? I don't know. Shaft, the Stanley Cup? I feel like there's something there, chat. Well, I'll see if we just let it brew in the back of the mind here for a second. Ayo. Well, but we'll sit on it for a second and get back to that. Hopefully, I actually will write that down because make no mistake, we actually have a history of forgetting. So that's gold, chat. We can't lose that. Obviously, Paul Maurice. Ayo. I mean, just in case, if we, I guess, think of a different villain, and if the Stanley Cup hockey, I mean, it might be ripe with villains, chat. Hockey's full of characters. I mean, every sport's full of characters. I'm sure the newness of the characters as well, too, to us would be it's fun. Like, some guy might be like Greg Popovich, the hair slicked back. Oh, that's a mobster right there. Or Pat Riley as well. Pat Riley, definitely a mobster, chat. But Pat Riley, the godfather himself almost. But, yeah, so Paul Maurice started with, I guess, wait, who's hair, chat? Hartford? The Hartford Whalers? 95-96? Hey, yo. Shout out. So Paul Maurice goes all the way back to the Hartford Whalers, Carolina, Toronto, Carolina, Winnipeg, and then the last 3 seasons with Florida has really been a dominant guy. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's really any other playoff success outside of that. So would they have eliminated, or does it just only show championships and finals on here? So wait, what's another really great season? 52-20. So yeah, they definitely would have made the playoffs this year at 52-20. In 17-18, but they lost in the conference finals as well. So I guess I don't know why it only lists some there in the playoff years. So yeah, Paul Maurice, I guess, very successful. Does it have his playoff resume listed here as well? Oh, I guess it's got his playoff record. Playoff record for career, 53.5%, chat. So I don't know if we have to look up Paul Maurice compared to some NBA head coaches here to see where he lands. But as of right now, I mean, how is he not in conversation for best active coach? Maybe he is, and we're just late to the conversation. That's probably more likely what it is. I mean, there's guys obviously in, football, chat, soccer, and, cricket. I don't know what other sport. There's guys in sports all over the world, trainers in the UFC that we're not thinking of that are great coaches. But Paul Maurice, chat, is a guy. So wait, let's see here real quick. Leaders, do they have the coaching leaders on here? Is it just going to give us player options? I do think they have coaching as a tab, though. Finals, other, coach, records, individual, team. Oh, maybe not, chat. Combined? Am I crazy? Where are the coaching records for the NBA? Oh, well, I guess we'll just look it up. NBA career playoff coaching win percentage. And highest NBA career coaching playoff win percentage. Let's see if we get you. Obviously, it's going to be Greg Popovich. Oh, Red Auerbach. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Man won 13 finals. So was probably not losing a ton of games in the playoffs back then would be my guess, chat. The NBA, you do have a series, but they're definitely winning a lot of those series. If I can do math, 13 NBA finals means a lot of playoff series wins. But, Phil Jackson, 7.04. Wait, is this listed? Oh, no, Phil Jackson, number 1, I guess? Casey Jones? Red Auerbach, number 3. Oh, here's the table, chat. So Popovich, 7. Oh, NBA, review some of those games. I don't know. Let's get him some more wins. Steve Kerr at 65.3. So I guess Paul Maurice has some catching up to do from an NBA standpoint. He would be, I guess, Rick Carlisle. Paul Maurice is the modern, hockey's Rick Carlisle in a way. I don't know if he's got the same bounce around team to team aspect. Phil Jackson, of course, he almost is. He is at a different level than Rick Carlisle because he's got so many rings. But he also played with Shaq and Kobe, so it's just a weird thing with Rick Carlisle. And I guess you got Billy Cunningham here as well too, Chad. Wait a second, Billy Cunningham, I think played for the Sixers, but did he coach the Sixers as well? What did he go? The Blazers maybe? Oh no, yeah, he did coach the Sixers. To an NBA championship. He was their coach, I guess, in 82-83 when they won the finals. So, shout out, Chad. NBA Coach of the Month in December that year. Ayo, got some respect. A couple of conference. I mean, just coaching that team in the 70s and 80s is impressive, obviously. And was inducted into Hall of Fame as a player right after that as well, too. So, was he he wasn't a player coach, was he, Chad? What was his player years here? 770 games played. Oh, yeah, played to 75, 76, but then, got into coaching pretty quickly right after that as a head coach, too. I mean, head coach of the team in 77, 78 as well. Oh, Edmonton's even up on shots on goal, Chad. Hey, yo. And they don't have a bucket yet. Somebody get what is this? Tyrese Halliburton out there for Edmonton? Oh, got him, Chad. We got him. Yeah, yo. But, so Billy Cunningham, number 2. All-time for playoff win percentage. Casey Jones, like we were saying, the other guys. Pat Riley. Les Harrison, 62%. Mike Brown. Hey, yo, chat. Mike Brown, top 10 all-time in playoff win percentage. Mike Brown is 700. It's got to be a different Mike Brown. 712 playoff games for Mike Brown? I mean, I guess that's not as many as, again, Pop and some of these guys with 1,000, but still, that seems like quite a few, chat. 712. I guess the LeBron years would add some of those playoff games, but it's not like he's been able to. He had a good regular season run there with the Kings, but even they didn't really even win a series, But let's see here with Cleveland, he is 90 playoff games coached in his career, chat. Mike Brown, I guess there is a Lakers season in there as well too. 5-7, 11-12. Mike Brown was the head coach of the Lakers. Oh man, chat. Hey, yo. And then back to the Cavs again after that, but only didn't manage the playoffs, of course, in that season. So still, impressive efficiency in the playoffs. Budenholzer and Jerry Sloan. Oh, Chad, that's crazy. You got Mike Brown and Bud Budenholzer. Who is this guy, Chad? You got Mike Brown and Mike Budenholzer right over the rankings on top of Jerry Sloan, Chuck Daly, and Eric Spoelstra. Ty Lue, Doc Rivers, George Karl. Okay, we're back down the list, Chat. Mike Fratello, almost 150% of his playoff games or more. Mike Fratello won more playoff games than Nate McMillan, Chat. Hey, shout out Mike Fratello. Mike Fratello, better than you would. Well, no, I don't want to say better than you would think, but you just guys on TV. Sometimes you don't talk about his coaching. The Czar, Chat. Hey, Little Hubie. Well, Atlanta. There for a minute. Oh, so he probably took over. I mean, yeah, in the nickname that would imply, but did he take over for Huey Brown in Atlanta? Because I think Huey Brown coached in Atlanta for a while as well too. But we also should. We're just rambling here, chat. We were going to on the last live stream do a little Kevin Durant trade machine, but then the game just got too intense, and the Pacers started storming back, and we had to lock in. So, time to catch back up because it's getting close to trading time for Kevin Durant. It is what it is. I don't know if it necessarily has to be before the draft, but it would make a lot of sense with especially the Spurs and Rockets being his preferred destinations and those picks. I guess like we were saying on the last live stream, the one team I guess we did mention surprisingly was the Spurs. Would we give up that number 2 pick for Kevin Durant? Probably not. But he is the number 1 guy on the trade machine as well, too. So you got Jaren Jackson, number 2, Jalen Green, number 3, KCP, Cole Anthony, Desmond Bane. Some of the Nets guys, Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson. And then Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, Cleveland. The Lakers guys always in the trade machine, chat. It is what it is. But, Yeah, we mentioned the Spurs trade that, as a Spurs fan who's, of course, always trying to just unreasonably win trades, the trade that we would feel like is a reasonable trade would be like if they were giving up just Vassell and the 14 pick and Harrison Barnes to make the contracts work for Durant. Again, I'm not trying to undervalue Durant here, but you're obviously getting a guy, twilight of his career, on a 1-year deal, and the long-term team-building stuff of that, you don't want to necessarily sacrifice too many future pieces to give him away. Or future flexibility. Even Vassell's contract is pretty favorable. Harrison Barnes is an expiring contract himself, so that's either cap space or a trade move. I mean, Harrison Barnes is a guy that's going to be tradable at the trade deadline, AO chat, or he's a guy that we just, if we're like, hey, we're going to be the 7 seed 6, I don't know how unreasonable we want to think as a Spurs fan here, but if we're going to be a playoff level team, maybe he's just a guy, obviously, that we want in the playoffs as well, too. So there isn't necessarily like the need to trade him necessarily in the same way. And I got to be honest, chat, like we were saying last, I'm not, anything's on the table, chat. We're ruthless as a GM. We're definitely irrationally attached to the players, but we're also ruthless trade machine, cold-hearted, trade cooker-uppers. But, the Walter White of the trade machine, chat, just ruthless at cooking up trades. But even us, I don't know if I would trade. I guess you couldn't necessarily trade De'Aaron Fox for Durant straight up. So the fact that it would have to be like a 2-for-1 deal in that would be too much, honestly. I again, like I'm saying, I wouldn't necessarily be against upgrading the team in a certain way if a certain player has to, be moved. But in that case, I don't think it would necessarily work. But we didn't get to the Rockets anyways. I mean, the Spurs moves are the Spurs roster is pretty obvious on what the trades are going to have to be from the player standpoint. So it is just what is the value alignment between the two teams, of the Phoenix feeling like they want to get enough future stuff back from what they traded before as well too, and then San Antonio, of course, being like, hey, we're not giving up too many future stuff here because we also have the stuff. And with the number 2 pick, like they can make I guess, who else is on the table right now to make a trade, which maybe is in favor with Durant, with the Spurs. Like if for some reason they want to feel like the Spurs want to maximize the value of that number 2 pick in a trade. But then again, like, is Dylan Harper not going to have insane trade value once he gets picked? And maybe it even becomes more value. Maybe Dylan Harper is actually a more valuable trade asset on the team than he is as a vague number 2 pick. Who knows? Dylan Harper, a crazy summer league chat, and then it's like, Giannis to the Bucks, ring. But for Durant, anyways, like we were saying, that number 2 pick is not necessarily on the table. But here, let's go Phoenix, I guess, is team 1, because, San Antonio's not going to be in every team. We'll bring him back, chat, in a 3-teamer in some way, I guess. And I know Durant said what he wants to do is play for Houston or San Antonio as well, which I guess, obviously those two teams, like it has to be the Texas team because, Houston, I guess you could say with Durant, and, again, with Wembanyama, obviously, with Durant, that combination could be, really deadly, but I don't know if we're a title team next year with Kevin Durant, and maybe we would be if we were trading for 29-year-old Kevin Durant, if we were getting Kevin Durant when he goes to the Warriors, but, instead it's a decade later. Like, I think Durant still ideally is perfect for what we need, and I do think it would be important for a playoff run, obviously, to get a guy like Durant next to Wembanyama in a way, because, you're seeing it right now with Indiana versus OKC, and it was the whole point of us, or not the whole point, but it's what ChatGPT was saying with Jimmy Chitwood, and, when we were plugging in the numbers and trying to figure out what his stats would be in the NBA Finals against the Thunder this year. It's, what his shot making at the end of the games would be able to do for the Pacers and some of their offensive problems, maybe how that competitively could even continue to push the series farther than it has been. Would be elevated as well too, and Durant would give you that closer at the end of games where, yeah, of course, Wembanyama was that protege player that he could be the two-way guy that he could be, he's gonna be the top 3 player on offense and defense in the league he's gonna, what did they say, best offensive and defensive player in the league by his 3rd year or something crazy like that. But the offensive thing, of course, is gonna take some time, chat, especially if he's, hanging out with monks and not in the gym. But No, Wemby, get the mind right as well too. It's all important for the psyche to be a good basketball player. But Wemby's just gonna be able to just get you a bucket at the end of the game, the same way Shea is, and Jalen Williams is proving to be that bucket getter versus anybody on the Pacers. Like if the Pacers had Jalen Williams, as much as we were loving Siakam, chat, to his veteran experience in the team, and as great as he was playing earlier in that series, and as great as he has played as well too. If you traded Jalen Williams and Siakam, it'd be really interesting. Obviously, Siakam goes to play with Shea from a scoring standpoint. It makes his game different than playing with Halliburton, just a different way. But that is the piece with, well, I guess, maybe that's a thing for a different time. But with Durant, the piece that he would bring to the team, again, is that closing factor that would at least take that burden off of Wemby's shoulders, where if he was that, then it's awesome. But you have Durant to be that as well, too. And Durant with Wembanyama doesn't have to be the guy throughout the course of the game, which is, again, maybe why he, it's that perfect balance of on-the-court stuff for him. But the championship level stuff, it does seem like we're still a couple of pieces away in the depth part of it to get there. The Rockets may be a little closer, but even still, I think in a Durant trade, the Rockets are a weird team that it's like, okay, yeah, they do have a ton of guys, but also do they, like, what, do they have a ton of trade pieces, but what's the actual value of the trade pieces? And then, well, I guess just what would be the move? I guess Jalen Green, of course, would be the main piece that's being floated around in that as well, too. But Van Fleet is a pretty sizable contract, obviously. Would you do Jalen Green and the 10th overall pick for Durant? Maybe I feel like listening to people talk about Durant's trade value, I feel like we honestly undervalue his trade value a little bit. I feel like we overvalue Durant as a player, but undervalue him from a trade standpoint, which makes it difficult, chat, which is maybe why, if the Spurs are thinking similar ways, maybe why the trade hasn't happened quite yet at this point. Phoenix, just take the 14 pick. Give us Durant. Make it easy. But, Jalen Green gets you, 2/3 of that contract anyways. So maybe that's the point of re-signing Steven Adams. 3 years, $14 million. The Suns need a center? I don't know, Chad. They kind of do. Like, I mean, if you're Phoenix, you probably want to get a little younger as well, too. Jabari with the team option for $12 million a year is pretty fun. I guess Houston doesn't have a lot of cap space, so they would have to be pretty equal in the trade, so they're not going to be able to just do a simple 2-for-1 like this. And Phoenix is actually better bringing in Jalen Green and Jabari Smith on the Trade Machine advanced stats as a team overall as well, too. See, Chad, I don't think that's necessarily wrong. I don't think that Phoenix is going to be, well, we'd have to go back and remember their win total. Like, is there just some weird, the vibes of it, they're 2 wins better, which is definitely part of it. But again, the depth that you would have to trade for Durant if you're Houston is interesting. And like we're saying, Durant gets you that lead scorer for any team, of course, or that closer guy that can hit a bucket or two at the end of the games for any team that he goes to. But the Rockets are a little bit more of like the collection of the talent is what's special. So if you break up the collection of the talent, it's just what does it look like? Wait, did the Panthers score again? Uh-oh, Chad, here it goes. Back to back. Oh, no, maybe they are the Warriors. Maybe this is LeBron versus the Warriors. Maybe Connor McDavid, we need to give more respect. Again, we're going to be biased toward an NBA guy. But, okay, is it like the Panthers are 90%, or maybe not 90%, but like 85% of that Warriors team? So, McDavid gets an extra game because of that. Would LeBron have gotten a game? I mean, he got 2 games against the 14-15 Warriors, obviously. So, and then, won the 15-16 final. So, yeah, you give him credit for that. But Reed Shepherd is fun as well, too. Reed Shepherd as the Booker replacement? Long term? Hey, yo. So, I don't know if you could, well, I mean, if you're going to could you get interesting? If you're the Suns, do you have to take Jalen Green, chat? Could you go, well, Jalen Green is actually, I feel we got to give him some respect, Chad. He's put up stretches where he's been 27 a game. Like, Reed Shepherd is still a lot of hypotheticals at this point. It is what it is. But if you want to at least say that he's a $10 million a year player and the flexibility of breaking up some of these contracts, but again, you're going to need the bigger number. So that's where Van Fleet would be interesting. Giving up Van Fleet, Jabari, and Reed Shepherd, you're giving up 2 lineup guys again as well, too. Van Fleet, the defensive ability in the backcourt is pretty valuable for sure. He's definitely a good defender, and his just veteran presence obviously is good as well too. But offensively, Durant's just going to bring you so much scoring, and he's going to be, again, needing those possessions at the end of the game. And did you ever really want VanVleet as the guy closing possessions as well, too? So you're trading 3 guys away. And again, Jalen Green closing versus Durant closing. Like, Durant's just going to be closing games versus whoever. So you get to keep Jalen Green. I don't know if that's, I don't know. I kind of just like Jalen Green on the Rockets for some reason. I don't know if that's a biased Spurs take, chat, but I just think that works. I'm not necessarily getting bad vibes about him in Phoenix, honestly, either, when I saw that him and Jabari combination. Jalen Green, Jabari, and Booker, I don't know. Jalen Green, maybe it's the Jalen Green-Booker part of it that makes it interesting, because both of those guards, like, Booker can definitely fall back into a little bit more of a point guard type role, and you're going to have Beal over there as well, too. Hey, yo, chat, but I guess we're just not accounting for the Bradley Beal minutes. It is what it is. But, if Booker can definitely be a little bit more point guardish at times, and you're going to have Grayson Allen as well, too. So, VanVleet, you're bringing in the guards, but he's also an expiring. So Durant's an expiring, VanVleet's an expiring. You're at least getting out of the contracts that way, and then, you have the couple of younger guys to navigate with at this point. So that would actually be 67-54. So that might be too much for Phoenix to take back, chat. And they're not going to be able to trade a second guy, or at least they wouldn't be able to trade it in Houston. So we're not going to try to cook up any 3-teamers unless it feels like it's really obvious, which I don't know what that would be. But, if it happens, it happens. Hey, yo, chat, we're not going to deny ourselves the opportunity of a 3-teamer in case it's on the table. Hey, yo, chat, whoa. But, for the most part, we'll just be traditional 2-team trades tonight. It is what it is. Very traditional night on the Rem and Sam pod. I guess if we get in our shaft bag, it's crazy, chat. But again, shout out Samuel. Shaft, he might be a little more open to, well, not open, but, he might be a little more capable of pulling off a random 3-team trade in just a Tuesday night. But for us, we'll just stick to the 2-teamers. So, yeah, we got, this is going to be too much salary. VanVleet, too much salary. So that little bit of difference is the Jalen Green to VanVleet drop in there. But Dylan Brooks is $22 million. Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd, and the 10th overall pick for Durant. And that is interesting, too, because you're really kind of just taking the Brooks and Jabari minutes and giving them to Durant and using the 10th pick as the tax in that as well, too, and Reed Shepherd as well. So, that's a little pricier. Rockets fans are like, wait a second, how did you only get him for Vassell? That's why I was saying kind of not necessarily what we thought the trade was going to be, but just like what is our trade comfortability. So obviously the trade comfortability for Rockets fans would be like we were saying, VanVleet in the 10 and see if they can call that a day. But maybe something closer to this. No, wait, where are we at, chat? Oh, way off on the Rockets side of things. So the Rockets could, well, I guess the Suns would be the ones that would need to kick in a certain player. Oh, no, wait a second. I'm not reading it right, chat. Yeah, so the Rockets, it would need to be a 4-teamer and the 10 pick. So the 10 pick is off the table at that point. Or Reed Shepherd is off the table at that point. Untouchable, chat. Hey, yo. Steven Adams. Sven Goon for Durant. So it might actually, the easiest version of the trade, well, might actually be, of course, like we were saying, Jalen Green. Here, let's reset it here. Was it just Jalen Green and Jabari basically gets you there? But the problem is, of course, well, how precise you have to be. You can't just round up and call it a day. Oh, Aaron Holiday. Has he already had his Suns run? Can we get him back on the Suns? If I'm Ishbia, if Ishbia calls us for advice and it's like, okay, I'm going to trade him with the Rockets, what should we do? I say, get Aaron Holiday. Or Cam Whitmore, obviously. Maybe Cam Whitmore a little more for the long-term stuff. But Aaron Holiday, Booker, backcourt, that's kind of fun, chat. Aaron Holiday's 6-man minutes could be a nice rejuvenation for the fan base. But let's see. So wait, where did Jalen Green go? To the bottom here? Yeah. Oh, whoa, pause. But Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, that's a good trade package, honestly, I think, for Durant. Again, it's like, oh, where's the future picks? Where's all the reset stuff? But that's 2 really good players. So they're still needing, so they would need the 3-1 trade here to make that work. So sorry, Jock Lindell, you're headed to Phoenix. It is what it is. We got to make this trade work. Chat, we're going to be $1 million off exactly. So just a little handshake deal with the league to rewrite the books in just a little bit of a way. They're like, oh, you're not going to see where this $1 million goes. Well, there's the trade. Right process through. So wait, maybe VanVleet is back on the table, chat. If you have Van Fleet, then you only need to get to 10 million more as well. So wait a second. I don't think actually. Wait, what's Micic's team option? I guess that's not going to necessarily get him out of the second apron. Unfortunately, they're $56 million over the second apron. So Micic's $8 million year team option is not going to matter too much for that. But it was worth a thought. So we got Van Fleet at 44, Durant at 54, both expiring. So, Van Fleet, Amen Thompson, call it a day, right, Rockets fans? I think that's fun. Tari Eason. So maybe Cam Whitmore is back on the table, chat. Or it's just Reed Shepherd. I don't know. Is Reed Shepherd, Van Fleet in the 10 now? Maybe you're actually throwing in a couple of first-round picks as well. Wait, they have Phoenix's first in 27? So, chat, honestly, I know that's not going to... That would be a little light in the player aspect stuff. You'd really have to nail that 10th pick. Or just really be bad in 27. But if you get Cam Whitmore back as well, too, at $2.5 million, you might be able to sneak... Oh, wait, who else were we supposed to throw in here, chat? Dylan Brooks at $22 million. Jock Lindell? Who was it? We just need... I guess Lindell might be able to get us to that number. So Jock Lindell, Cam Whitmore, Fred Van Fleet. Oh, chat, are the Rockets going to be... Okay, let's just see if the contracts work real quick, and then we can just add that. Oh, chat, we're so close. $1.7 million? Oh, not that close. You've seen us work before, chat. We've gotten it down to $79,000 off before. It is what it is. So we can do better than this. We're going to get stumped on the first team, chat. Hey, yo, this is where you really need, again, bring in the third team to make some of the stuff easier. Wait, was it was off on the Phoenix Suns side of things. So I was going to say we declined. Sorry, as much as we love Aaron Holiday, decline. Team option, bring that trade in. Get Durant. It is what it is. But no, it wouldn't work that way. So would Beal waive his no trade clause to go to somewhere, chat? No one deal. I don't know if that's probably going to happen to make this trade work. Ryan Dunn, Iguodala. Could be. If you could trade guys and it's like, okay, Durant and Dunn and I guess, or just Beal and Dunn. And if you could trade Beal with, I guess, you want to start trading your younger guys with Beal to move that contract. Be a little disastrous, but okay, wait, 1.7 million off. So if we get Lindale out of this trade and then go Nate Williams, 2.2, probably not enough. Amen Thompson. Oh, chat, they're missing just the perfect salary in here. Hey, yo. Tari Eason? That might be too much. Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore, and Van Fleet for Durant? 54-1 and 54-7? Oh, chat, this might be it. And the 10th pick? That's borderline about the trade if it's successful. Oh, chat. This might be it. $606,000. Okay, we've got it under $1 million on the trade machine. I think we've won. I'd like to get it under 100,000, but it is what it is, chat. We're not, don't get us balancing the books quite yet. I don't know. Is there one more tweak we can make at this point? Cam Whitmore at 3.5. Nate Williams at 2.2. So maybe Aaron Holiday is back on the table, chat. Hey, yo. Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, Fred Van Fleet. Ooh, chat. That Van Fleet one, you'd think it would be right there. Van Fleet, I can't believe, Whitmore's 3.5. 2 years. Not 2.5. Oh, chat, okay. So Nate Williams is back on the table. Just for the contract standpoint of it. And then maybe you kick, and then you would go for that 10th, that future pick maybe. So, again, Van Fleet's an expiring, so you're not really getting a long-term asset there. So you're thinking you're trading Durant for the 10th pick, the 27th pick, Tari Eason, Fred Van Fleet, and Nate Williams, if this works. Oh, chat, we might not get it. It might need the third team, whatever the mechanics are, or just the mechanics. Is this, again, why the trade hasn't happened yet? Because if Van Fleet could be, with all due respect to Van Fleet, if he could be in the deal, you would think he could. So wait, let's just make this more of a picks-based deal then. So Van Fleet, Nate Williams, 2 picks, and Durant in the deal makes us 7.5 off. So we need, who's the 7.5 contract we can get in here? Oh, let's bring Lindale back in, chat. He might make us $500,000 too much. Oh, we got it, chat. Hey, yo, ding, ding, ding. That took was quite a while. Probably we're gonna have to fire the movie back up and overlap the trade machine with Shaft watch along. Hey yo, but you get. Oh wait, and we accidentally did the Brooklyn swap right picks in there, but you know what we're trying to say there, chat. Hopefully, the Phoenix would get their unprotected pick back. Whoa, in 2027. Where did that go? Yeah, 20. So they get their own 10th pick back. I guess I was gonna say the Rockets' 10th pick, but it's their own 10th pick back, and then they get their own pick back in 2027. And then you could throw another pick in there because again, that's kind of 3 contracts for Durant. So do they have another Phoenix pick as well? Dallas and/or Phoenix swap rights. Houston will see the 2 most favorable of its 29 first, Dallas 29 first, and Phoenix's 29 first, and Brooklyn will receive the least favorable of the 3. Okay, Chad. So, or they could just trade a later pick as well too. But that's pretty close, honestly. What was that? A Brooklyn swaps right pick in 27. So a 2022 first-round picks and a swap for Durant and Van Fleet's contract. And maybe you trade Van Fleet at the deadline as well too. You know, again, $44 million is a little bit of probably a little bit more difficult to move, but you never know who's looking to move some money around, and Van Fleet would be an expiring even closer to the books at that point. So either the Celtics taking Van Fleet for the last couple of months, trying to get out of that second apron. A little Drew Holiday for Van Fleet deal would not be bad at this point. Can we... I guess if we delete the Rockets, that's not going to save it, chat. We can't, like, build a new version of the league with this trade machine. So I don't know if this is actually the trade that both fan bases would be okay with, but I feel like, honestly, they would because you still have your own kind of surplus of picks. If I guess you got some second rounds here. You don't have a first in 2026, I guess. So, you need to have a good year. Oh, I guess because we traded it. As we traded their swaps as well, too, in 2027. So, I guess 2 years without a first-round pick. But then you're back to a first in 2028, and then you still have other firsts to potentially trade as well, too. But you're not necessarily giving up too much of the rotation, and even the guys that you have on your team, who knows what picks and values, and there's more trades and stuff to be had. You're just a very talented team. So, and not a lot of roster spots to necessarily take over because, again, Lendell and Nate Wiggins, that's not a lot of minutes to give up. How many minutes are we going here? The Rockets are giving up. They're adding 17 minutes a game by bringing in Durant. So they're giving up more players, but they would this is really a version of the trade where you're adding Durant into the team right now, which actually, for me, I actually kind of like this trade. I don't know if Rockets fans are in alignment. Maybe it's, one pick too much. I don't know. Get that balance right in a poll or something. But, that's what I like. Again, the collection of talent stays, and you get to interject Durant into that. Because, again, it was this group needed Durant. That's what we wanted. And as much as that can be a wishful thinking thing, obviously, it's like, well, can we just add a best player or a best scorer in the league to any group in the team? Yeah, who wouldn't love that? But they do have, with their amount of contracts and picks, at some point they have the ability to do it. We just had to be able to figure it out. And he did say Miami as his other destination as well, too, chat. So we'll just pump over there quickly and see what they could potentially have to offer. I guess it could be Wiggins. 2 years, $28 million. Wiggins at 30 years old. Durant at 36. I guess you start thinking Durant's probably a little bit more valuable to the Heat than he is to these other teams as well, too, because with, like we're saying, San Antonio and Houston, they had the younger talent to build around as well. Bam and Tyler Hero were definitely having moments at the end of the regular season where they felt like they were playing really well, but then that playoff series just, unfortunately, didn't go their way. And I don't think you would trade Hero for Durant, If this was old NBA, could you rig the contracts? Like, there's no way you would trade Hero and Wiggins for Durant. I say no way, but that just feels like too much. It feels like there's maybe more to be had in a trade individually with both of those guys than whatever is the next move to be made after the Durant move, if that makes sense. Rozier, I don't even know what is that potential situation, but Hero and Rozier for Durant? Is this going to work? This might, unfortunately, be a little bit too much for the Suns. Yeah, $3 million off for the Suns is not really that close. So Rozier, $26 million. That is a fun expiring, though. I don't know, again, what that situation is going to be. But Duncan Robinson, 19.8. Oh, chat. The white guy trade. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. The white guy the white guy package is crazy, chat. But oh, you could do Duncan Robinson and Hero for Durant, and they're 4 wins better. You bring in a little. Well, you bring in a lot of shooting, chat. Hey, yo, whoa. You bring in a lot of 3-point shooting, and you get the off-ball movement with Hero. You get Hero and Booker playing next to each other. Hero, Booker, and Robinson. It's definitely not a lockdown team, but again, this team's not a title team anyways. So it's just, what's the maintainability? And then I guess, the Heat don't have a lot of picks, I guess, to trade. They have the number 20 pick this year, their own pick in 26. They don't even have their pick in 27, but then they have their picks 28 through 31 as well, too. No seconds any of those years as well, too. The Heat have already traded away. The rare team that traded away all their seconds instead of all their first, chat. Ayo. Interesting move by Pat Riley. Thinking ahead, he's like, oh, you're all trading your first-round picks. How about your second-round picks? Those aren't as good, see? Pat Riley. What a genius, chat. What a genius. But that's not crazy, I think. It's not crazy. Would you like the mystery of the picks, I guess, and the contract resets of the rookie contracts with that Houston trade? Maybe. But that's definitely still 2 pretty good players. So if it was Wiggins as the centerpiece as well, too, Miami's a strange team, chat. I guess we gotta look for some of the other guys. Hawkes, Ware, and Jovic. Who knows? Heat culture, they're probably gonna win 50 games next year with those 4 guys. I was just like, oh yeah, that's obviously a 50-win team on the Heat. Hawkes, Jovic, Ware, and Durant, and Bam, for sure, 50 wins, chat. Lock it in. But if it was just, let's just upgrade Wiggins with Durant as well. Like I guess we said we couldn't do Wiggins, and I guess you could do the Wiggins. Or no, wait, we were doing Hero in Rozier. So there might be just enough of a salary gap to actually be able to get that to work, chat. Oh, close. 157,000. There we go, chat. We're getting closer to our goal. Almost able to get that to work. Terry Rozier has to take a little pay cut for whatever scandal he was involved in, and now the trade is able to go through. You could definitely see that happening. Haywood Highsmith getting involved in the trade. So they don't have a lot of mid-tier contracts. They've got a bunch of, highly paid guys. Duncan Robinson is the one mid-tier contract that they have. So, where's Duncan Robinson going to be at, chat? Duncan Robinson roulette. Well, this offseason potentially as well. So there isn't a weird trade thing. It would have to be a player-based trade. I feel like, you're getting Pell Larson back. Or you're not going to... I'm not trading Hawkes. I'm not trading Ware. Again, I'm not trading the rookie contract guys for Kevin Durant, even if that's a hot take. So that might be honestly a Durant wish list thing more so than a actual realistic goal as well too, because I just honestly don't see a fun trade. The trade that I honestly would be interested in if I was the Heat would be the Hero move, but I actually like the way Hero played at the end of the last year, so I don't think that we liked him, but I played pretty good offensively running that team. So I think that there is still he's still a valuable piece to build around in a way, whatever that is, even if we continue to construct this roster out and don't know totally what it is yet. But I did want to see what would be possible to get him to the Nuggets, because imagine if you went to Durant's business partners and was like, hey, you want to go play with Jokic? Like, there wouldn't be a conversation to be like, oh, actually, you know what? Maybe that is a good idea, because Michael Porter is, of course, a big contract, chat. Could it be a Michael Porter, as a piece for Durant? Michael Porter, Peyton Watson, they're going to need another... Oh, I guess they're going to need that mid-level salary, but that actual, mid-level exception almost type guy. I guess Najee at 8 mil, chat. Najee, Porter gets you to 46. And then Peyton Watson for Durant? Porter and Peyton Watson for Durant, basically? Or is it Deron Holmes for Durant? Saric, the player option. Porter and who else do we throw in here? And Zeke Najee for Kevin Durant. Oh, this is close, chat. The Nuggets do have some second apron space. Oh, wait a second. Okay, $2.7 million off on the too much for the Nuggets. So Saric at 5.4, probably not quite gonna cut it. Chat, he weirdly is. Again, I guess the next most expensive guy. So it would have to be a 4-for-1 for Durant. Ooh, that would be a little much, chat. Because I don't think I would trade Murray as well, too, after the way he played in the playoffs. I think, well, ooh, chat. Ooh. You'd really have to think. I mean, this was an interesting playoffs to look at it and go, okay, what is the over-under for titles with a Jokic left, I guess, with a Jokic-Murray core? Obviously, they have one. But the over-under at this point is probably a half a time. Like, are they going to get one more ring together? And I don't know if that's the over-under, the random number for Jokic left in his career. Is he going to get one more ring? But maybe and again, the version of that core. Like, is there a version where they move into a San Antonio, Murray takes a step back, and there's like a next young star that blossoms and helps power their next phase of their dynasty, or, next phase of their team or whatever. But, and not like they're a dynasty right now. But if the idea of the title, if you looked at the team and goes, okay, could we have one title with a top-heavy Jokic and Murray team? Maybe you would think that if we brought in Durant, could you win the title this year with Jokic and Durant instead of Jokic and Murray? Or could you win the title once in the next 3 years with Jokic and Murray, more likely than you could, or Jokic and Durant, more likely than you could with Jokic and Murray? That is a really interesting conversation, chat. I don't know. I'd honestly have to hear what the other people in the room say and then be like, oh yeah, I kind of agree with that. That sounds good. But Murray's shot making, and I really have to dig into that tape as well too from that playoffs and some of those regular season games to be like, okay, what was the dynamic here? Why was we saw him play better in those playoff games? Was the consistency the same? Maybe go back to some old playoff footage and see what the eye test visual of it is as well too. And then of course same with Durant. But I mean, Murray's at $46 million, 4 more years as well too. So you could get a weird, I guess you could be in the same spot salary-wise if you re-sign Durant to like a 3-year deal after this, or like a 2-year extension and make it a 3-year window this year. But yeah, I guess he's going to be in that probably $50 million a year range as well too. But that could probably be a Murray Zeke Najee deal, and you might not even have to. Whoa, chat! I mean, we're literally $200,000 off on the Trade Machine preview part of it. So if it just says we're $200,000 off, then it just means that this trade literally can't happen, I guess. But oh yeah, then it is what it is. $136,000 off, and this trade just can't happen. We literally have to get these salaries exact. $136,000. I guess we did it. We did it before, chat. Hey yo, we've done it before. We can do it again. They just need to. They somehow need to get under, but then they literally have to match perfect almost. This is crazy, chat. We were $136,000 off at 8.1. Okay, wait, let's just go Saric, Murray and Saric, and see what happens. This might work. 51.8 outgoing for Denver. Oh wait, we didn't click chat. Oh, failed. 2.1, 2.8. Oh, I guess we just we sent them out less money. So yeah, hey yo chat. So when you start going a 3-for-1 deal with Murray and Durant, then it would start getting a little rich. And it's not like I guess the Suns would have a pick to throw back. Oh, they do have 29 this year. You kick 29 in there for Murray, chat. Bring Murray back. You think, okay, Iguodala, Murray and Booker the next couple of years. Iguodala and Dunn. It's like a fun playoff team maybe. So Durant, Murray, or Durant and 29. Well, now we're trading picks with Durant for Jamal Murray. I don't know if Jamal Murray was that good, but Jamal Murray and Strother. Oh, Strother was pretty good though as well too in that one playoff quarter. Strother might be like a. Whoa, wait a second. 2 years from now, we gave up Strother. He's 17 a game in the playoffs. That's quite a bit, chat, but you never know. Peyton Watson, maybe he is at 22. Is he is what he is right now, or is there still all of those levels that could be uncovered as well too in his game? So Zeke Najee, $136,000 off. Bummer, chat. I was really hoping to get Durant next to Jokic. That'd be so much fun. And Jokic getting back in a title contention, as well as he not in title contention right now. So maybe it's just like a Hunter Tyson contract as well too. Pickett, Tyson for the spacing, or Pickett for the backcourt stuff. I guess you probably need the wing potential, especially losing the Durant minutes. You're getting another guard back with Murray. So Hunter Tyson, Zeke Naji, and Jamal Murray for Kevin Durant. Honestly, chat. Wait, why were we throwing in that pick? Oh, because Zeke Naji, Jamal Murray, and Hunter Tyson for Kevin Durant. Hey, yo. This might be... It's going to fail again. It is what it is. Oh, we got it, chat. The Suns are 2 wins better. So, once again, if you're the Nuggets, you're not giving up any future picks. You're giving up the however many years. Is this a little Davis-Luka-y? Or is this a little more even than that, chat? For me, this is the one that I have to think about. I don't know. I'd have to, this might have to be like a Sam calls in and tells us what he thinks about this trade, because this is a close one, chat. Again, 2 wins on the trade machine is, I think, for the Nuggets, you would have to look at the closing ability and how Jokic also obviously was just so awesome as well too, and how he pushed this Thunder team to 7 games. And if he had a closer like Durant as well too on the court, like, could Durant and Jokic have gotten past the Thunder this year in the playoffs, chat? I don't know. That could have been, both those guys fully healthy, peak their, they check every box for health and skill. But, if they're fully playing their best and they're fully healthy for everybody, that's a great thing to have going into the playoffs. But could they have gotten past the Thunder together in a playoff series? And you're bringing in a wing as well, too, like the versatility of Durant next to Gordon, next to Porter Jr., and Murray isn't necessarily a point guard. Again, Jokic is the point guard of the team. So and Murray to the Suns is great as well too. Murray's still, you thinking, is he still not going, he's still in the West, so he's still not going to make an all-star team, but he's still going to potentially be that, like we're saying, 20, 25 point, or 23 point a game guy. He can be a complimentary or a lead scorer next to Booker. And Murray with a backcourt teammate, the Kentucky backcourt. I'm talking myself into this one. I'm glad we got there. I was initially, again, as you saw, we were going Porter for Durant. It makes sense. The wings, could they boost that trade package a little bit to make that more interesting? But that is, if I'm the Suns, I would look at that and go, you know what? I could talk myself into that. Maybe the Nuggets, if they had a pick, you would like a second or a couple of seconds in that or something. But wait a second. So maybe we're getting a little greedy, chat. Hunter Tyson, can we switch him out? Because I honestly feel like Strother and Murray. If it's Strother and Murray and Najee, I guess I'm telling you right now, Phoenix, call it in. Call it in. Hey, yo, chat. After that literally the one quarter that Strother had versus the Thunder in a playoff series, it's all it takes. Success. Yep. Phoenix, call it in. If I'm the Nuggets, I kind of feel like, see, the problem is, though, I don't know, Hunter Tyson next year, I don't know if he's going to give you minutes. You're probably thinking Strother's going to give you minutes, so you're not necessarily in the minutes aspect of it going 1-for-1 the way you were with Murray and Durant. So it's a little bit more, but I don't know if you could necessarily say, if you feel like bringing in Durant's going to win you the title, is Strother part of that conversation, I guess? Like, oh, well, Durant, Strother, and Jokic. Or was it just Durant and Jokic, and then Strother, you just have to get him in the trade to make it work? But that would get you a couple of future pieces. Zeke Naji, I guess he's only 24 as well too, and he just doesn't really, well, I guess why doesn't he get minutes on the Nuggets? But he doesn't really get minutes on the Nuggets maybe as well. And just, it's the, you got Jokic out there for so much, he's so valuable to the team, and then how many of those guys that you can have, like Aaron Gordon, I guess, out on the court. And maybe Zeke Naji doesn't have quite the same ability to play next to Jokic, and it's like, oh, is that a downside thing? But Aaron Gordon has a special talent as well too, in his ability to be that baseline guy in Jokic's game, and maybe Zeke Naji just hasn't quite figured it out in the same way, and he would be a wing for him as well. I gotta be honest, this is better. This is better than the Spurs trade that we gave him, or probably better than. Well, it just depends on what you can get with 10, obviously, and then how bad if you're Phoenix for yourself in 2027 getting that pick back. How good are you able to make that pick, I guess, would determine sort of the value of the trade as well, too. You tank, control your own tanking destiny in a little bit of a way. But Murray for Durant is a fun one, chat. That is a fun one. Durant, call in. Let us know if you would go to Denver to play with Jokic, or would you go to Milwaukee to play with Giannis? Oh, man, chat. Dame for Durant straight up? Whoa! Probably not with Dame's injury this year, unfortunately. And Milwaukee also doesn't have the first-round picks. They can't do like a Kuzma and Bobby Porter. They can't even really do a 3-for-1 either way, even if there was picks involved, they don't have enough guys as well too. Especially in the modern NBA, your $54 million, second apron era, your $54 million a year player is hurt. I mean, the Celtics as well too are dealing with it, but their team was already expensive beforehand. So they do actually have quite a bit of first apron space, I guess, even with the 2 guys under contract, chat. So that is a benefit as well too as they hit the offseason. The problem is, again, Kuzma, if he's the biggest contract in the deal, he's not going to be necessarily a swing centerpiece. And they don't have the plethora of young guys as well too. Milwaukee might be the team that literally doesn't have the trade. It would have to be Dame for Durant straight up. It would have to be Dame healthy, being like, okay, as much as I thought, me and Giannis wanted to play together, the Milwaukee part of it, I wasn't necessarily putting that into effect. And that's not going to work out. I'd rather be in Phoenix. And again, Booker and Lillard, that'd almost be peak of the powers version of supercharged version of Booker and Murray, But obviously Lillard's a little bit older right now as well too. So that's probably off the table. Orlando, chat, they just made a trade. So we're going to go to the trade machine and try to figure out how to get him Durant as well too. Oh, come on, chat. You're overpowering, and we're overpowering Orlando at that point. That would be unfair. The Knicks, Towns for Durant straight up. Towns was second team All-NBA this year, so that might be a little rich for Durant. Again, hypothetically, I guess the Knicks aren't probably a stretch. Stephen A. I guess, is Stephen A. trustworthy in this conversation, chat? Can we say if Stephen A. says that Durant might want to go to the Knicks, is that true? Good enough for me, chat. Good enough for me. But Anunoby, honestly, any of the players individually for Durant, contract or not, because of, again, Durant's, well, I guess you start talking Anunoby for Durant just if it was like the league was like, okay, 0 contract matters in a trade day. And then it's like, whoa, can we call in Anunoby for Durant straight up? If you're Phoenix, I think, honestly, you might be more happy to take that one earlier. And again, it would be the Durant requesting a trade part of it as well, too. Like, you have to trade him. It's like, whoa, Anunoby's a great piece to get back. Are we getting back 85% of Kevin Durant? And then if you're, New York, are you saying, are we getting 50% more in OG Anunoby's offense anyways with Kevin Durant? Because obviously you're losing some of the defensive stuff. But then his offense to elevate a team baseline versus the way Anunoby would elevate the Suns into the playoff competition. It'd be interesting, chat. It would be interesting. And you would have to, if you were going to have Bridges in the trade, it would definitely have to be, a combination of guys. So, yeah, we with the way Mitchell Robinson played and McBride played in the playoffs in moments, it felt like their bench was a little bit more valuable at times than we thought maybe it was going to be going into the playoffs. But, Tibbs is, and I guess just them not having Tibbs to never play the bench as well, too, is going to maybe make that more of a thing. But then if they start trading the 2 and 3 for 1 for Durant, obviously like a lot of these teams, they're going to be compromising that as well, too. So Towns for Durant straight up, Durant as a more solidified second scorer next to Brunson, it's another interesting one, chat. And if I'm the Suns, obviously you feel better about getting Towns back because Towns is, I think, a better player right now than Murray is, even though Murray has had amazing playoff moments and even won a finals himself. This might not even work straight up, chat. Let's see. Oh, it fails. New York, $1 million too much, so it's going to have Towns and somebody. Towns and Kolek. Towns and Ariel Hookporty, chat. Hey, yo, shout out the 1.9 team option. I guess we're picking up that option, chat. He's in the trade. That might be perfect. Oh, beautiful, chat. So Towns and Ariel Hookporty for Kevin Durant would be an interesting move. But Towns might be, again, too much at this point. It is what it is. You would have to really convince yourself that Durant would elevate you. I guess that's what it would be, chat. I think is what I'm battling with is I think Towns would be better for the regular season, and that is important, obviously, in setting yourselves up for that playoff success with getting it seeding and all that different stuff. But Durant maybe a little more reliable in the playoffs. I mean, not maybe for the course of the career, but at this point going forward, his reliability in the playoffs compared to Towns, and again, Towns, we got to give him his credit for the impact he's had the last couple of years, but it's Durant still Durant. So you'd have to really talk yourself into that one, chat. But you start thinking the Towns 1 for 1 as well, too. Like, I don't know if Towns is obviously good enough to get you Giannis in a 1 for 1. But if Giannis does request a trade and it's like, okay, I want to go to the Knicks, and you think, of all of the scenarios of a guy forcing his way out, requesting a trade to one team, whatever situation, like getting Towns back is still like a pretty great, I think, compromise, however you want to phrase it, like it in that type of situation. Or even if they just sought it out, if the Knicks sought that out as well too, like they'd be awesome. But if the Bucks sought that one out, I wouldn't necessarily think that is again like a Doncic for. That's not a Nico Harrison, chat. That's what we're calling a trade now if we don't like it. The Nico Harrison. It's not a Nico Harrison if they trade Giannis for Karl Towns. It's more of a, I don't know if we'll have to go. We'll do the GM scale for crazy trades, chat. We'll cook that up at some point and see what we got for the craziest GMs making moves. But the Ernie Grunfeld, maybe it's like an Ernie Grunfeld, not quite a Nico Harrison. But see, chat, it's a fun scale. It's a fun scale. And Nico Harrison is a great name to just add right into the legacy of just the fun GMs that we've had in NBA. The fun GMs, that's one way to put it, chat. Hey, yo, the fun GMs that we've had in NBA history. Nico Harrison's the next one up. The Pacers, I feel like the Pacers, we keep bringing them up in the trade machine, and I know they're probably going to be a prime candidate to run it back because, again, we're talking like the Rockets, sort of the collection of talent guys. But with their cap managed situation and with that collection, it does lead them to be a team that has the ability to make a move. And again, I don't know if they're going to want to make a move. They have overachieved, and you're going to want to see if this is like a version of the team that's just good. Or, again, you go, okay, let's capitalize on the value of some of these guys and see what we got. Because, again, Siakam at 31 is on that part of his career where you start thinking, the next trade or whatever, like, is the value going to be the same? But Siakam at $45 million is a great chunk of the contract. And then you're just thinking, Durant in this playoffs, him in the Siakam role, there's just going to be times in the last couple of games in the fourth quarter where he's probably going to be more equipped to get a bucket against this Thunder team. And maybe, Durant in this series would just continue to prove how great the Thunder's defense is, Dort on Durant. But then you think about how that would shift around, like Jimmy Chitwood, chat, moving Dort around. It really just is like, can we get another guy to distract Dort? If Dort can guard Durant, then maybe Halliburton is free up to make some moves, or you trade Halliburton for Booker in a surprise move. Hey, yo, chat. But probably not that one. So Durant for Siakam and, Nesmith, probably a little too much at that point. Mathurin is definitely playing himself into a a long-term guy for sure, but definitely a more valuable trade asset as well, too, over these last couple of games. So Jarris Walker at 21 years old might be a little soon to trade him. And him and Siakam, two wings. You're giving up the future wing and the present wing for Durant? Oh, it works. Siakam and Jarris Walker for Durant. I do like this for the Pacers next year. Again, because Walker, who knows what his minute is going to be like on this team. Whose minutes is he going to take? If everybody here, they run it back. You've only got team options on Mathurin and Shepherd. Again, they're team options, so you're going to just pick up Mathurin's team option, and even the long-term stuff, is unless he holds out. But again, he's on the rookie contract, so it's not like how much leverage do you have if you're Benedict Mathurin on a rookie contract. But they're not going to have a lot of turnover in that way. It looks like as well, too. Oh, Turner. I was going to say, we're missing one in here. So Turner is the guy, I guess, that could be the potential what-if. But Turner in a sign-and-trade? Wait a second. Can we sign-and-trade Turner? Why haven't we just clicked over to the cap hold tab before? Modify contract, sign-and-trade. Beautiful, chat. Standard contract, Turner, 3 years. I feel like that's going to be pretty common. I don't know. Who cares about the last years? It's not going to matter for the trade machine. Anyways, Turner making, I guess it is sign-and-trade, so I don't know. Bird rights, chat, what was he at this last couple of years? Like $20 million? Turner at, I don't want to underpay the guy. $21 million a year, chat? If he's like 18 or 19 or something like that, then it is what it is. But we'll just give him 21. Maybe that's sort of high end for us. Well, what's the most that we would give Turner, chat? Hey, whoa. What are we saying here? But 24? Oh, we'll say 24. Why not? 24 million. Who cares? It's the NBA. We just signed a big TV deal. We got. Oh, wait a second. This is only a 3-year contract as well, too. So it's 24 fair. 3 for 27? Just to be lucrative, chat? Okay, 3 for 27. Let's spoil him, chat. Hey, yo. He's played well in the finals. Oh, wait a second. What happened? I guess, whose finals number did they slide us on that box score, chat? Wait a second. Write that number differently. But, yeah, $27 million in that first year. We'll just throw that in there, I guess, to see what happens. Or does Spotrac have like a market value for Turner as well? So Turner, chat. Wait, did we sign and trade him? Where'd he go? Is he on the team? Cap hold? Where'd Turner go? Roster. Oh wait, he's right here. So 3 years, 27 a year. Wait, that's 3 for 70, 3 for 81, 3 for 81, 3 for 82, something along those lines, chat. I don't know. That does seem like a little rich for Miles Turner. Would he be more like 3 for 60, 3 for 64 would be, or 3 for 66 would be 22 a year. So maybe 22 a year, chat. Maybe 22 a year. 27 on the high end is not bad. We can sit here and figure out Miles Turner contract, but on the high end is not a bad estimate. And again, we got a lot of room to play with. The Durant, $54 million. Turner at 27. Jarris Walker. So Turner and Jarris Walker for Durant, and you have Siakam at that point. Siakam, Halliburton, and Durant all at 45 million plus. Yeah, your team gets a little expensive at that point, just a little bit. And you're gonna need. Oh, wait a second. Is there gonna be like some sign and trade rules about? Oh well, I guess we only have Jarris Walker in this trade as well too. I was thinking we had a bigger second contract in there. Okay, wait, never mind. Let me catch back up, chat. I feel like Obi Toppin is playing too well in this finals as well. Is Obi Toppin too valuable? Nembhard, Neesmith. So would you sign and trade Turner and then put Neesmith in the trade and Jarris Walker? Oh, chat, it is getting a little thick, honestly. If you were able to bring back Turner on a deal in the 20 million, the reasonable 20s, we'll say, for Miles Turner, and I don't even know what's he looking for, chat. I'm just assuming that. And I feel like guys, how often do they go backwards as well, too, especially as younger guys still entering the prime of their career, like, and just in the, with the new version of the salary cap, how that affects everybody's salary, just everybody being able to get paid the same way. Would it, what's possible there? But Pacers' new $30 million deal for center may trigger rare something. Wait, is there a extension kicked in that we don't know about yet? What happened? Are we slacking on the news here? Set to earn $19 million this year. Let's see what we got going on. Kerner. Oh no, Kerner. Wait a second. Turner's contract prediction. So they have mutual interest. So yeah, 47, I guess, would be, or 27 on the low end. Chat. Ayo. Insider makes Turner contract prediction amid $40 million annual value demand. Turner demanding $40 million a year? I mean, you got to start bargaining somewhere, chat. We'll see where they end up working that down to. So Turner, I guess 27, a couple million under 30. I don't know how far down, again, he's going to be willing to bargain. But Turner at 30? Okay, then it becomes a little bit more reasonable to trade. You'd only need 14 more million at that point. So again, it would be like Turner and Toppin. Starts getting a little too much. But that Siakam and Jarris Walker is interesting. It's, again, can you navigate that window of the Jarris Walker developmental years with Pascal Siakam right now? And yes, maybe years 6, 7, and 8 for Jarris Walker, you're going to start going, it's kind of a bummer that we traded him. But Durant, these next couple of years could kind of even that out a little bit. So Durant helping the Pacers, joining the team that almost won the finals again, chat. If he wants to do that move again, the Pacers, there is a way. There is a way. So, wait, what else is Durant? So, we got Durant, the New York team. He's joined a New York team. He could join the Knicks. He requested, we looked at the teams he requested for. He could join the finals runner-up. What else has he done, chat? The move to Phoenix was a little off the wall. So, it would be like the what's our off-the-wall move? I guess we were trying. Oh, is that Denver? So, Denver would be the Phoenix, sort of. If he wants to then go in reverse order as well, too. Well, hey, yo. But is there, I guess, are there any other teams that would be interesting for him, obviously? I saw the Clippers floating around. Durant to the Clippers. Do we just want Durant's career to be over? Is that what we want? I know Kawhi and Harden's career aren't necessarily over, and, Norm Powell has had a bit of a resurgence almost. But the superstar legacy of stars on the Clippers, I'm a superstitious guy at this point, chat. For the Clippers fans, for the Clippers franchise aspect of it, it is what it is. I believe that the Clippers are bad luck for franchise players. I don't know what to tell you. So I don't necessarily want even a 36-year-old Kevin Durant to be going there, and maybe the end of the career is there already, but we don't want to risk it. We don't want to just what do you call it? Speed rush it with him going to the Clippers. Fast track it with him going to the Clippers. So Doncic for Durant? I don't know about that. Rui Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith. You're trading all of your wings for Durant and Jared. Let's just trade Vanderbilt too. Why not, chat? Who on the team is over 6'8"? We will trade you right now for Kevin Durant. So that gets you 45 to 54. Oh, it's probably not going to work, chat. Yeah, it's not going to be enough going out for the Lakers. They're still $10 million short. So, I mean, with this type of deal, you really could do a 4-for-1 on his. Gabe Vincent off the bus. Oh, wait a second. Never mind. Maxi Kleber, chat. 1 year, $11 million. Perfect. 6'10". Gabe Vincent only 6'3". Get him out of here. So, you know, the Lakers are going to definitely have to find a center now. Hey, yo, chat. Maxi Kleber, Jared Vanderbilt, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Rui Hachimura for Kevin Durant is quite the... Oh, yeah, it's too much. Good thing, chat. Saved them from themselves. Hey, yo. $1.5 million. Too much. Wait, Vincent would have saved a couple of mil on Finney-Smith's contract anyways? So, and retaining Finney-Smith gives you like a wing as well, too. So you would have Durant and Finney-Smith and Luka and LeBron and Connect and Reeves and all those guys. Shake Milton still under contract for the Lakers. Got him for a couple of years. So wait, has he already been on Phoenix as well, too? He might go back, honestly. Hey, yo, Chad. Welcome back to Phoenix. Shake Milton, 43 to 54. There is a version of the trade that this could work, Chad. And then, of course, LA is one of those teams, like, just a couple of random minimum guys go to LA. They have I guess their 55 pick in the draft this year. But they got Bronny last year, so Bronny continues to develop with Connect and Reeves. You know, backcourt depth. Hey, yo, chat. Hey, yo. But it's not totally off the table. If they're $1.5 million away from completing the trade, there is a way that this trade can be completed. I mean, let's just simply go. I guess we took Dorian Finney-Smith out for a reason. Let's go Dorian Finney-Smith for Gabe Vincent and see if this is a 4-for-1 that works. A 4-for-1 is wild, but I mean, who knows, Chad? And make no mistake, if you're the Suns, like, do you want Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and Maxi Kleber back for Kevin Durant? But Hachimura and Booker is kind of a fun combo together. I don't know. You know, there's not 3 guys all for $11 million a year is a wild move, Chad. 4-for-1. This is really a league is rigged trade, honestly, if they get this one to go. It is what it is. Maybe we're undervaluing Durant or overvaluing Durant, I guess, by saying league is rigged if they make this trade. But it feels like they could. Like we were saying, you know, Jamal Murray. We were questioning if they could get Jamal Murray. So, you know, Jamal Murray or Rui Hachimura. What will the league let the Phoenix Suns get, I guess, for Kevin Durant? Memphis, they got the picks back for Desmond Bane, so they're using the picks to go get Durant? Bringing Durant with Ja and Jaren Jackson? And now with Bane, there's a perimeter space available. But Durant would have worked with that team with Bane as well, too, obviously. So would they get aggressive pursuing a star and trading those picks back for an older star as well, too? I don't know if that would make it work. Durant to Dallas? Okay, chat. Every star over 30, of course, we have to figure out how to get to Dallas. So it would have to be Clay. It would have to be another 4-for-1. Clay, PJ Washington, and Gafford. Yeah, it's too much, chat. Unfortunately, there is nothing to do. I mean, unless, well, because again, Durant's an expiring, so there's no reason to do the Kyrie trade to get out of the long-term contract aspect of it. So, you know, if Dallas was willing to do Davis for Durant, then that would be an interesting move. But again, to be honest, Davis at 32, even with the health thing, like, you're still not looking at the health. It's still, you know, about the same consistency for both guys, honestly. And look at, I don't know what this LeBron advanced stat is, chat, but anything to prove our point that Anthony Davis is great, we'll take. And he is at a 3.94 on that LeBron, and Durant is at a 0.71. Bradley Beal at a negative 0.79. Ayo. The PER, obviously, you know, advanced stats can favor the big men too, but I mean, Durant at 6'11", gets a lot of those advantages. So there's not really a Dallas trade. Cooper Flag, probably not on the table. I know Detroit was floating around as a fun team, or as just a team for Durant to go to, but I never really liked that fit, to be honest. I think him and Cade is a great combination. Again, Durant can play with anybody. But something about Durant in Detroit just feels weird. I don't know. That just doesn't feel like the franchise for him. That feels like a much more... And, I'm not trying to diss Durant here. I'm just saying Durant is... and I guess, to maybe say it in a positive way, Durant, the finesse that he had fit in so well with the Warriors. And the Warriors were a team that could buckle down and play defense when they needed to, for sure. But they were also a team that was the finesse, the ball movement, the spacing, the gracefulness of the team and all that stuff. And Durant maximized all those things as a player. The Pistons' history as a franchise is like this, the Motor City, Chet. Now we're turning into Peter Schreger here. The Motor City, blue collar, hard workers. They grind it out. They play defense. The bad boy Pistons. Like Durant doesn't necessarily feel like a Piston legacy player. Not in a disrespectful way. It just, I think there's maybe better franchise fits for him as well too. Like speaking of finesse, like that's why I think Durant in Denver would be fun. Denver's always been a high flying sort of offensive. Hey, always. There's this version of the team was Dikembe Mutombo was here and we played defense then. It's like just don't forget about the Dan Issel years and the Melo years and now the Jokic years and all those other years. But that feels more like a franchise. The Spurs feels more like a franchise for him. The Rockets have a lot of kind of some two-way guys as well too. They're maybe a little more vague with the type of stars that they have, but some teams have that very constant culture branding all throughout even the franchise history, and the Pistons definitely do. And even this team matches that, and even Cade matches that as well too. Like this team's a nasty team, chat. In a good way. Like they'll make a game physical. They'll make it ugly. They'll get scrappy, and maybe Durant can get in like scrappy and get exchanging words with some people, but I don't know if he fits the vibe of the Pistons in that way. Atlanta could be fun, of course. I feel like Atlanta's a common trade machine team for sure. So you start going Jalen Johnson for Durant, probably not if you're the Hawks. And then they really only have the two high-paid guys, so they have a lot of space, chat. The Hawks do have a lot of space. Trae Young for Durant? Trae Young for Durant. I think Trae Young might, as a franchise guy, that is maybe a little Luka-y for Davis, but then what is the upside, obviously, of Trae Young as a team? That's a Luka for Davis, maybe from that's a Nico Harrison from a marketing standpoint, but I don't know if that's a Nico Harrison from an actual on-the-court standpoint. So that's why it would be interesting. The long-term effects, of course, Durant being a decade older than Trae Young. Oh, and it works perfect, chat. You can just do it straight 1-for-1. Durant for Trae Young. The Phoenix Suns are better by bringing in Trae Young. Yeah, so again, Durant, the 1-year deal, you're just immediately, I guess, this is just a purely unfortunately, we're cutting ties with Trae Young type trade. So I don't know if they're totally ready to do that. But Durant next to Jalen Johnson and Richerche, I mean, him as a wing is like a perfect guy for this team. And then, as they model everybody on this team can be modeled after Durant. And Dyson Daniels as well too, chat, as a wing guard in this lineup. The Bulls wouldn't really be like how competitive could he make the Bulls, because they would have to really win their pick this year. The 12th pick, Donovan Mitchell range, not off the board for sure. So Vooch, Zach Collins, Pat Williams for Durant. You want Vooch for Durant? Vooch on Phoenix is not bad, honestly. Vooch and Booker, little two-man game. There's some good offense there. You could honestly replace a lot of Durant's points with some of these Bulls guys, I think. You have Vooch, Kevin Huerter, and Pat Williams. So Vooch is $21 million. Lonzo, 2 years, $10 million? Is there any way? This might be too much, honestly. Let's see. Vooch, I guess Zach Collins. Now we can put a little trade filler there, chat. Hey, the Bulls are going to have some cap space, so they wouldn't necessarily need to send out as much salary going back. It works, chat. I kind of like this one as well. Vooch and Lonzo for Durant. Hey, Zach Collins, the problem is the West is going to be loaded next year. But Booker, Lonzo, and Vooch, and Bradley Beal, I guess. And they still, I guess Nick Richards still under contract. Dunn, Iguodala. Chat, this might be the Booker MVP year right here. Booker 27 a game, the 46-win Phoenix Suns with Vooch, Lonzo Ball, and Bradley Beal rejuvenated. When Booker rejuvenates Bradley Beal's career this year, chat, we will. You guys don't see it coming, but hey, I'll pause. But we got it locked in. That's why. Just in case, you check out the Rem and Sam pod for just the little, Booker predictions that might happen and be true in the offseason. But I kind of honestly like this one. I think the Nuggets was our first favorite, that Jamal Murray one. That's just an interesting trade. And then this is a couple of good pieces back, honestly. And maybe, is it too much to Bulls fans, Pat Williams, Vooch, and Lonzo for Durant? And again, like, where's this team going? Durant. But then you would have Durant, Kobe White, I guess, Matas. And then you don't really have a center. You're trading a lot of your rotation pieces at that point. So, yeah, where's that team going? But I guess if you could get Vooch and Lonzo back for Durant, that could honestly be fun. I know there's no real picks back. You're probably not getting the 12 in there as well. But Lonzo and Vooch, again, I think could be real starters. And then who knows what the future for those pieces are as well. The Sixers would be, I guess, another. Could you do Paul George for Durant straight up? I guess probably not if you're Phoenix. Unless, again, I guess Durant has basically requested a trade at this point, so he is leaving. But if you felt like him and Embiid as a pairing could be more successful, and I mean, obviously Durant over Paul George at any point in their career, you're probably just upgrading at that spot. But as a 1-for-1, that really probably could work here. So it'd really just be, Phoenix would really have to talk themselves into Paul George. Paul George back on the West Coast maybe is better suited for him as well. Yeah, so Paul George for Durant would work in a 1-for-1. Unfortunately, you probably aren't going to talk yourself into that move if you're Phoenix. But for the 3, chat, probably not as well too. The 3, so Kevin Durant in the 29 for Paul George in the 3, does that work? But Kevin Durant in the 29 for Paul George. Oh, what about Kevin Durant for Paul George in the 35? Maybe 5 picks, early pick in the second round. So I know, future seconds probably not going to be as thrilled about that, but a top 35, barely, but a top 35 pick and Paul George for Kevin Durant, I guess, you definitely want that number 3 in there. So what did we say? Yeah, Durant in 29 for Paul George in 3. And then if you're Philly, you've got Embiid, Durant, Maxey, McCain, the 29th pick and the 35th pick, I guess, to go into the season with. So that could be fun as well, too. And then I guess he's already been on the Warriors. I don't even want to think of that trade, Chad. It's not fair. It wasn't fair in the moment. It's not like it would not be fair. It would be the same level of unfairness again, but we don't want to just relive the trauma of the notification of, oh, Durant to the Warriors. What happened? Durant for Zion? Who says no, chat? Who says no? The NBA salary cap says no, but probably... Would Phoenix say no? I feel like Phoenix, you can't honestly say no to that. Durant for Zion? If there was a 1-for-1 that could work there, because again, Zion, the Pelicans aren't going to have... Oh, this might actually work in a 1-for-1. The Pelicans cap space? Ooh, they're going to be close. $5 million? They don't have to trade that much out for another player, chat. Olynyk at $13 million. Hawkins and Zion for Durant? That's too much. That's too much. Jordan Hawkins for Durant. Straight up? Oh. Who says no, chat? Alvarado? Just trade the old beloved core of the Pelicans, chat. Zion and Alvarado. Missy, untouchable, obviously. Elfrid Payton, if you just need to pick up the option and throw in a contract to make it work. Lester Quinones on a 2-way. Let's lock that in and make that a real contract, chat. Hey, yo, what are we doing here? McCollum at $30 million as well, too, if it was like a McCollum and Jordan Hawkins as a centerpiece. But again, what are the Pelicans doing with Kevin Durant? Poor Kevin Durant. Speaking of Kevin Durant retiring, hey, yo, he might actually, at least on the Clippers, he's in LA, he's playing with other stars. Like he's having New Orleans, he might just retire. Just open a restaurant, just start, seafood boy. It's like the Kevin Durant seafood boy. It's like, remember when Kevin Durant used to score 30 points a game 2 months ago, and then he got traded to the Pelicans? But this is, good crawfish. Hey, yo. So, Brandon Boston could also, I don't know what kind of Brandon Boston stock he had, but at $5 million again, yeah, it could be because as much as the Phoenix can't take salary back in terms of, or just the difficulty of taking salary back, they do have some room to play with because, again, with the salary cap space that the Pelicans have anyway. So they could take like Olynyk back in this deal, like we were saying, to get a rotation guy. Herb Jones in Zion, two sort of what-if guys, consolidate him into Durant, and then Durant as like okay, at least we have a veteran stabilizing presence for Trey Murphy and the other stuff that we have going forward. The 7th pick in the draft as well, too, chat. So it'll be like Jeremiah Fears and Kevin Durant. Is that the guy's name, chat? Jeremiah? But you got like Fears and Durant instead of Zion. So who knows? Sacramento, light the beam. You're getting Kevin Durant. Hey, Durant for Sabonis. Durant for Sabonis is not bad either. If you can do that in a 1-for-1, I know Sabonis is like, okay, now we're locking in the 45 wins. But Sabonis and Booker, I think the Booker 2-man game, the pace of that compared to the pace of the Fox Sabonis 2-man game could be fun. It is a little bit too much on the contracts for Sacramento. $1.5 million off, chat. So this is pretty realistic as well, too, from a contract standpoint. Durant and Zach LaVine and DeRozan and Keegan Murray, probably not the most enthusiastic 4-man lineup that you're going to throw out there all year. But this is still something. Terrence Davis is a rotation guy, chat. Keon Ellis, untouchable maybe. Devin Carter, your first-round pick as well, too. The guard. Valanciunas, get a center in there? Could be interesting. Valanciunas might make that too much, honestly. I guess you already have a center with Sabonis. What are we thinking, chat? Malik Monk, $18 million, too much. So let's go Terrence Davis. I still have Terrence Davis stock, even though Keon Ellis a little higher on the PER. Hey, some better advanced stats. The defense, I think, a little bit better for our guy Ellis, of course. Yeah, so Durant for Sabonis and Terrence Davis is at least on the table as well, too. And I'm not necessarily, again, against getting picks back for Durant if it's possible. I just don't know how many future picks you're going to get back for Durant. And getting a good player, like you weirdly could get more future picks back for Sabonis, again, just because he's a younger player. Like Sabonis is not, the significantly younger player, but again, just resetting that timeline a little bit. I guess 29, I was going to say, was he like 31? But 29, he's not even 30 yet? He's, again, Sabonis, is he going to get two? You're going to get 2 first-round picks for Sabonis. But I think it's not so, in my mind, it's not so far off. I think the Kevin Durant trade is probably going to be a little bit more than I'm expecting, or projecting, I guess I should say. But I like the evenness of some of these 1-for-1 player-type trades, the more equal talent in the deal. So that is about the most realistic way. I guess Minnesota, chat, like one of the other teams. But Durant, I think, said he literally had no interest in playing in Minnesota, which is kind of funny as well, too. So shout out to Minnesota. Hey, yo, chat. But Minnesota as, they have $924,000 to work with in the first apron, chat. That is clutch. I guess, what at what point in the offseason can they make their moves as well, too? And then if you trade for Durant and move into your first apron and stuff, like, do you lose the flexibility? Is like Nas Reed, what are you sacrificing at that point? Are you really going into the season going, okay, Dillingham and Terrence Shannon are stepping up. Luka Garza, we're picking up that team option. We're finally running you out there for rotation level minutes. I guess you got Leonard Miller as well, too. Between Leonard Miller, Terrence Shannon, and Dillingham, that's an interesting what could happen group of guys on the bench there. Potentially. It would have been interesting to see them more, and I guess not in the playoffs, but I feel like we didn't see him enough in the regular season as well, too. Maybe Miller was injured, though, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know if I got the timeline right for that one, chat. But, yeah, Kevin Durant trade machine. Ayo. We'll see if the Spurs, I guess we're going to get Dylan Harper or somebody else, chat. I guess we'll obviously end up with somebody. But the mystery of who the Spurs are going to end up with that number 2 pick, or the Stars, or who's going to be on the Spurs next year, chat. Is it just going to be the same group of guys and we have to awkwardly be like Spurs fans back in the arena, be like, yeah, we were obviously not wanting to trade all you guys all offseason for stars in the league. But we'll see what happens, chat. Draft is quickly approaching. Next week? The draft is next week? Hey, yo, chat. The draft is literally next week, so fast approaching. But let's take a quick break, and then we got to fire up the movie, chat. 2020, AO 2000. Cue up the Paramount Plus, chat. It's Shaft, it's Samuel L. Jackson, it's Christian Bale, it's Jeffrey Wright, chat. It's all of them up next. All right, chat. Paramount Plus, it knows us too well at this point. We don't even have to search for our next movie watch here. It literally is recommending it to us. Our recommended options are The Shy, which new episodes every Friday. It's a little, I think that's part algorithm, part just I think promoting new material. But then Triple X, Vin Diesel, Shaft, Samuel L. Jackson, Terminator, Dark Fate, Arnold, and Norbit, Eddie Murphy. So Vin Diesel, Samuel L. Arnold, and Eddie Murphy is our Mount Rushmore of recommended watch guys for Paramount Plus, chat. Pretty perfect. The algorithms are locked in 2025 in some cases. But here we go, chat. We're going starting watch now. 3, 2, 1. Wait, Paramount Plus? I forget if they're ads on Paramount Plus. They're ads for Paramount Plus. I mean, because, you know, a movie starring Samuel L. Chat, this would be the most where like it wouldn't even matter what the ads are, just Samuel's gonna be on the screen no matter what. If the movie's playing, Samuel's on. Like if we were watching Shaft on Tubi right now, chat, ayo, it'd be like, okay, we're just watching Shaft run around as a police officer, detective guy trying to chase down Christian Bale, and then there's all of a sudden Samuel Jackson selling a Capital One credit card. It just is what it is. Samuel is one of those guys, one of the most beloved actors of all time, one of the highest grossing actors of all time, or highest grossing, the box office numbers for his movies as well too. And again, that's a large part of it in correlation with the fact that he's just done a lot of work as well too, chat. And just the intro right away, I mean, Shaft, chat, what is Shaft up to, chat? Well, I mean, here it is right off the bat. You know, Samuel is on screen, chat, so language alone, put the kids away but make no mistake. Shaft, I think, you know, a little double entendre there at times, a little chat, you know. Shaft can definitely get down and you know, hang out in a lot of different crews, that's for sure. Get along with a lot of different people. So but either way, like I was saying, Samuel, the popularity, the importance, the hard work, it's all there. And I was thinking about him compared, because I think him and Kevin Hart are the two guys that definitely get brought up the most when it comes to the work ethic of their careers and just the amount of movies that they were in. I'm trying to think of maybe an older actor that, and especially, again, you start getting into guys that do the bit parts and stuff, that's a little bit different. We always joke about, me and my cousin, there's some old TV shows that we'll watch and we'll go through, and some of the characters on the movies that they're, like, I figured there's one guy that, you know, is like in like 400 or 500. I mean, Samuel L. himself is in like 200 plus movies or whatever. I mean, I guess we could look up, you know, who's in them. Well, I guess we could look it up, chat. Who is in the most movies of all time? I don't know if Samuel is in quite that conversation. I don't know. Is ChatGPT going to be trustworthy for that? Who is in the most movies ever? ChatGPT is going to be more trustworthy than Bing, honestly, at this point. Actors have been in the most movie. Okay, Looper, chat. Let's see what we're saying. Trejo? Oh, chat, Trejo. Sarandon. 104, Susan Sarandon. Nicolas Cage, Vincent Price, 110. Danny Glover, 128. Michael Caine, 138. Samuel, 144. There he is, chat. Shout out. Jackie Chan, 146. Michael Ironside, 151, chat. There's a reason they call him Ironside. Hey, yo, pause. Michael, Mickey Rooney, 160. Well, shout out, legend. But Christopher Lee, 203. Chat, who doesn't love seeing Christopher Lee in a movie? Richard Reilly, 204. Hey, yo, chat. What's this, the live action Lorex right here? Who is this guy? And then we've got John Carradine at 216. I know this name. I feel like this is like an, obviously, you know, iconic guy. Best known as the patriarch of a large and celebrated acting dynasty. Sons David Carradine, Keith Carradine, Robert. Oh, maybe Robert Carradine is the name that I don't know. So these are all kind of basic first names as well too. So just that last name definitely rings a bell. I mean, again, pretty popular. Look at all these names, chat. Their half brother Michael Bowen from Breaking Bad, the most popular one in the family, is not even named Carradine as well. Grandchild Martha, Ever, and Sorrel Johanna Carradine, all enjoyable long careers as well. To Ward Bond, 236. Trejo, 267. Eric Roberts, 422. Whoa, Eric Roberts. Whoa, the man is working. Eric Roberts leads the pack by a mile. He's Kareem for a while there. I don't know. Samuel's LeBron chasing him down, chat. But for Samuel, I mean, for a lot of guys, like, are you going to be doing 260 movies where you're in a starring role? Probably not. But Samuel L., of course, a lot of his most famous... Oh, chat. The computer. Don't do this to us. Bang. Kick into gear. There we go. Okay, we're back. There's a lot of the Samuel L. notable parts are either, I'm not saying bit parts, but more supporting actor, or again, sort of ensemble as well, too. You think a role like a Pulp Fiction or something like that, where the cast of that movie... Again, speaking of like the Rockets and the Pacers, I mean, his character in that, of course, like Samuel, again, iconic guy. His characters are just going to be iconic. They always stand out. He's a great performer. But again, it's like, oh yeah, there's Jules and there's Pulp Fiction, and they both sort of live in, the equal sort of zeitgeist together a little bit. And, again, it's him sort of carrying it. But Travolta as well, too, in that movie is special as well. Is Jeffrey Wright giving you a John Travolta Pulp Fiction level performance? Is Peoples Hernandez in this movie, chat? But I guess the point being with Shaft is fun because pause. As a movie role for Nicolas Cage, it's a fun movie role because it's him as the lead guy, and he gets to channel all of that Samuel L. stuff as the lead guy. Like, could Samuel have had Denzel's career, or vice versa? Could Denzel have had Samuel's career? Maybe they could have borrowed a little bit from each other a little bit. And again, that's all, honestly just me being, just being greedy as a Denzel fan, just wanting to see him in just every movie possible. Just okay, like any movie with Denzel could be awesome. But Eddie Murphy is a little Denzel like that as well too, where Eddie Murphy was really only taking main character type parts. Eddie Murphy wasn't just, and I mean, what's the movie? Is Showgirls? Is that the right title, chat? The Jennifer Hudson one? I think she's in it as well, too. Okay, Eddie Murphy. So if he's in the movie, that's going to be the guy that we remember. But he is in that movie as a side character type guy, and it's fun, and I think he got nominated for that as well, too. But to be honest, you know what I also kind of like? Eddie Murphy in a movie for a lot of it. I like Eddie Murphy in a movie for a long time. Ayo. Like, he's obviously a great actor, very funny, and it's just awesome, and he's on screen for a lot of it. And Samuel falls in that lane as well too. But Samuel also did the other thing where he's just in every movie. But to compare him as well too, again, to Kevin Hart for the working aspect of it, I feel like Kevin Hart got more, like went more into a lead man type vibe. Like he was going more for lead parts as well too. And maybe like something again with working with The Rock and working with other stars, like more the buddy cop tandem type duos. But again, Samuel just hasn't really gone for that type of thing. So let me go the more like recent IMDb as well too. The Garfield movie, chat. Hey yo, I don't know if that necessarily proves our point or not. But let's just go, I guess, okay, we're scrolling back down to the beginning. I mean, chat, there's just a lot of movies to work through, again, with Samuel. So it's like, where to begin? But yeah, like, even, chat, like, he just pops up in every movie. Again, he's literally in Coming to America, just like robbing us. Is he robbing the barbershop in Coming to America? I forget. Okay, hold up, man. I forget exactly what he's robbing there. A store or something. But, or is it, does he rob the McDowells? I forget. Which one is it, chat? But again, he's just like, he's in everything. It's awesome, but not necessarily the main guy. Goodfellas. I mean, chat, I don't know, Samuel's in Goodfellas? Hey, yo. I mean, Menace, he's literally just Samuel in every great movie ever. But Eve's Bayou. Hey, yo. I guess, see, the problem is a lot of the Samuel movies is going to be like, wait, which one's it going to be starring in? I guess outside of the Tarantino ones as well, too. The Negotiator. I guess The Negotiator is a Tubi one that we have been meaning to watch lately as well, too, chat. Out of Sight, obviously, iconic, the uncredited in that. But you get to Shaft. Shaft is him in that lead role. Like, again, Denzel definitely could have done this part, and I don't know if it's better with... It's Denzel, and it's awesome because it's Denzel, but I don't know if it's necessarily better with Denzel. Again, it's we're careful there, chat. But it's a little, Durant sort of LeBron. Like if you put LeBron on the 2017 Warriors, are the 2017 Warriors better? Like, okay, you could just say blanket yes because it's LeBron. But if you really think about it, it's like, are they better? Like, what is Denzel doing more in this movie than Samuel? Like, I guess we'll have to lock in like a monologue scene or whatever, and just remember like Samuel. But Samuel as an actor is, I mean, right up there with him as well too. Like, we have to remember his accolades as well. What is his history with awards, not just necessarily the roles. Because again, with so many smaller parts as well too, a lot of those, you know, in some of those movies, it's not necessarily like awards consideration. Oh wait, here we go. Awards and honors. Of course, it's gonna have its own page, chat. For the Academy, only a couple. I was gonna say that feels about right, but only once nominated actually in general is crazy, chat. Is crazy. You know, would Denzel have gotten nominated for John Shaft in 2000? You know, Denzel goes John Shaft to Training Day, to Out of Time, to Deja Vu. I forget is Out of Time and then Deja Vu. I forget. Or no, wait, Man on Fire is the Tony. Out of Time is not Tony Scott. Or yeah, Out of Time. Wait, Out of Sight. Which one's Denzel, chat? Which one's the one we were just thinking of? I don't know. But Deja Vu and then Man on Fire and Training Day and Richard Shaft. Again, it feels like that type of solo hero-y type movie. But Richard, I'm just thinking of the old one this entire time, chat. But Christian Bale as the villain, you know, is that type of. But then, you know, Denzel's always got a star as well too next to him. He's speaking of Training Day, he's with Ethan Hawke in there. He's got some fun lady partners in some of those other movies that we mentioned as well too. But shout out to our paid in full guy as well too here, chat. The early 2000s are tough for our guy. He's just getting taken out in every movie. It is what it is. But Christian Bale, ruthless in this one, obviously, and then Christian Bale, you know, that early sort of villain run as well too. I mean, you know, for guys like us, like with The Dark Knight being such a transcendent movie for our generation as like a, you know, one as a superhero movie, and the way it set the tone for how superhero movies would dominate. Again, 2008, so almost a 20-year run, chat, but still the after effects of the MCU and the superhero movie. I mean, we're still in the throes of that. But with him in the Psycho movie, chat, as well, like, you know, he's playing some crazy characters here in the early 2000s before he cleans it up and is Batman. I guess The Machinist as well too. You know, so this is Christian Bale when he's in all these roles. It's like, you know, the versatility, and now he's playing this. I forget what's his character name in this movie, chat. I guess, you know, it's not as iconic, I think, as Peoples Hernandez or John Shaft. But hey, yo, Shaft is, again, it's gonna be a crazy one to navigate, chat. It is what it is. But we do our best. We power on for the sake of the show. But where are we at here? 2000. So 2000, Rules of Engagement, Shaft, and Unbreakable. Is this arguably his? Well, no, it's not going to be his best year because, again, like, you know, with Pulp Fiction. In what year exactly was Pulp Fiction, chat? The 94. I thought 95, but 94. And he also, I mean, 94. He's just busy that year, chat. Hey, whoa, probably busy in a lot of ways. But Fresh, Pulp Fiction, The New Age, Hail Caesar, Assault at West Point, and The Search for One-Eye Jimmy. Hey, yo, chat. I guess we'll see if that one's on Tubi or not. Colonel Ron in The Search for One-Eye Jimmy. But with him getting nominated in Pulp Fiction, it's going to be hard not to argue for that as his #1 year. 1990, he was stacked up as well, too. And I guess if you just go the movies that he was in 1990s, he's in Goodfellas. He's in, again, Goodfellas. Stack Edwards. I'm trying to chat. I guess we haven't watched Goodfellas in 2025 in full quite yet. 2025 has definitely been I mean, as you've, I feel like, checked the tapes and heard from some of our Tubi watching, not necessarily some of the prestigious films. Again, the, you know, Dark Knight, the Goodfellas maybe haven't been on the list in 2025, but they've been, you know, in the list in the past. But again, I don't remember exactly Samuel L. in that movie. But him in Mo Better Blues, of course, and Goodfellas, just the double combo of that is probably the best movie a combination year. Again, 1989, Do the Right Thing, and Sea of Love. Hey, yo, chat. You want the Al Pacino thriller and the Spike Lee vehicle? Or, again, you've got Coming to America and School Days in 88 is a pretty good duo. Jungle Fever, Strictly Business, Jumping at the Boneyard, Johnny Suede in 1991. So Johnny Suede, I guess. Brad Pitt, Catherine Keener in some of their earliest roles. Hey, yo, chat. 92, Juice, Patriot Games, White Sands, and Fathers and Sons. 1993, again, I guess we're just going movies. Menace, Jurassic Park, True Romance, Loaded Weapon 1, not necessarily a lethal weapon, but loaded weapon. So Menace to Society, Jurassic Park, and True Romance as a 1, 2, 3 is pretty good as well too. The Long Kiss Goodnight, Hard 8, and Tree Lounge. Jackie Brown, Eve's Bayou, and One Night 7. So it's definitely going to be, I think, 1993, officially 1990, and then 19, I guess again, or 88, because he's in Coming to America for such a short little bit. But again, just ranking the movies, not necessarily Samuel in the movies, all of the pieces put together. So again, just as roles as well too. This is pretty. You're getting him in lead roles as well. I mean, Unbreakable as well. You're having Bruce Willis. Definitely, not definitely, but because I'm not necessarily the most caught up with M. Night Shyamalan's career, but for us, I would say his most mainstream series that he's done, unless there's another one that I'm not thinking of as well too. But again, I think it's the one that at least I associate him the most with when I think of M. Night Shyamalan. That's the first movie series that I think of. Oh yeah, him as Mace Windu. We can't forget about him as Mace Windu, chat. Hey yo, but point being, again, even as Nick Fury, he is a side piece. So a side piece. Whoa. So I mean, Soul Men. Like, what's his other main? His best lead role. I guess maybe we'll just have to do the Nick Fury run as well too as the lead guy, and because he'll be a Tubi superstar for sure. Make no mistake. We were gonna commit to Wesley Snipes. Go back and just okay, watch all the movies that we haven't seen for Wesley Snipes at this point, but maybe we'll have to just catch up on Samuel as well too. Oh, the trash can just out of nowhere, chat. And if we were ranking guys as well too, I mean, you love a movie where I forget what. Oh no, I was just watching some clips from Set It Off. Was it today or last night? I forget. We're always watching clips from Set It Off, I guess. But watching and some clips from The Departed. I guess some depressing ending clips, chat. But it was you just start, the algorithm starts recommending similar stuff. So I guess The Departed and Set It Off, similar endings with, spoiler alert, tragedy, chat. But Shaft, obviously the complete other way. Where if we ranked movie characters that just everything that they did worked out for him in a movie, you think even James Bond. I was thinking, do we go Mount Rushmore coolest characters in a movie? John Shaft, James Bond, and the Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess Bride. I don't know what the exact list is, but if we were going the movie characters that again just had the highest batting percentage of moves that they make, there's really not a move that John Shaft doesn't make that doesn't work out. Again, literally, as a law fighter, any hunch that he has is perfect. Every, flirtatious move that he makes is going to definitely win over the ladies. Every turn that he makes in a chase is definitely the shortcut that he should have taken. So, I mean, just but again, to go back to James Bond, for the Daniel Craig Bond specifically, pretty brutal end of the first movie for our guy Bond. I'm not pretty, the nut smash in the chair is not an ideal ending, and he definitely, again, quote, he survives it, makes it out, but also the lady, his lady gets killed at the end. Well, so, just major spoilers, chat. It is what it is. But, our guy Bond does not make it out okay necessarily at the end of that first movie. And even Skyfall, you think Bond is always sort of losing a little bit, chat, for sure. There's some sacrifice to be made with the Bond character. Again, Shaft, he's going to give you that swagger. He's going to give you the same sort of carry himself. I don't know if his drink order is as complicated as, Bond's as well, too. Maybe Shaft hanging out in some different establishments than James Bond. But the idea of, again, the suave, cool guy, definitely both, and the law enforcement aspect of it as well, too. Agent sort of aspect of it, definitely, gives you similarities there. And here we go, chat. The introduction to Peoples Hernandez. Speaking of top fives, so we got top 5 coolest, guy, detective, I guess, in movie history, and John Shaft. And we've got top 5 best movie villain ever in Peoples Hernandez, chat. Top 5 movie villain performance. I don't know how you want to rank it, but I mean, Jeffrey Wright is throwing 100 this entire movie, chat, as Peoples Hernandez. This is one of those wait a second, who is that? As the as the villain, the accent is, cranked up to 10, chat. It's perfect. He's just the John Shaft, the basketball knocking over the spaghetti right onto the white shirt. Of course, People Hernandez white shirt. Does he even change out of the stained shirt in this movie? I think he does, but also could leave it as just a reminder of the revenge he needs to get against John. Egyptian cotton, chat. Probably shopping at the same store as Deadpool shops at. People Hernandez and Deadpool showing up. Because, make no mistake, like, John Shaft is literally wearing Nick Fury's outfit as well, too. Or Nick Fury is wearing John Shaft's outfit. Do we need to go into the creation of the character? Again, this is the Nick Fury version, the Samuel version. But the character himself has existed for a while. So, here, we should actually look that up. And there's obviously, the character's importance to movie history is something that other people could probably speak on and explain more than us, chat. But still, everybody knows the character of John Shaft. Shout out Richard Roundtree. 71. Okay, so what was my earlier guess? 79? I guess, wrong end of the decade. Hey, yo, chat. It is. Wait, yeah, Shaft in Africa? What year was that? Maybe that was 79. No, 73. Hey, was there a Shaft movie in 79? Is the question. Probably not. Shaft's big score? 1972. So, Richard Roundtree, even more appearances as our guy, John Shaft as well, too, than Samuel, because Samuel had the 20-year gap before returning in 2019 with the character as well. Weapon of choice, Smith & Wesson Model 36, Beretta 92 FS, or M198. Martial arts include Western boxing, Wing Chun, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, some type of karate, chat, and then another type of... So, multiple types of karate. I guess you don't necessarily think of him as an MMA fighter as well, too. He thinks... Or I guess you would think of him as a little bit more of a street fighter type guy, or just a fighter. Just a guy just fighting based off of pure instincts. I just assumed he didn't have any training. I just assumed the training was life experience and just the amount of times he's been in a fight and his instincts in a fight and the fact that he is John Shaft as well, too. And also, the 2000s, chat, but still, having to put up with this cop. So wait, you have to look up this guy's actor name as well. Call him out, chat. Canceled. But, yeah, pretty aggressive as well in this movie going against our guy Shaft. Oh, his family, chat. Hey, yo, Hazel Shaft, his mother. Shout out Mama Shaft. Hey, yo. But created by Ernest Tiedemann, the character. Was this a book? His screenplay for The French Connection. Oh, chat. The greatest action movies of all time. John Shaft and The French Connection. So our guy Ernest Tiedemann is probably a name that we should know as well, too, chat. Oh, of course. Shaft just created by a white guy. It is what it is. But, still obviously an iconic character regardless. So... Popped up in the 70s. Oh, chat, a whole run of movies in the 70s. A couple of movies in 72. Oh, 2 movies in 72. 2 movies in 73. A movie in 74, 75, and then... Hey, yo. Oh, wait. Oh, no, these are novels. These are the books. So the book was originally written in 70. Oh, wait. So, yeah, he didn't just create this... So, actually, we should probably just read what it says here. The Shaft franchise. The franchise began with the novel. There we go. Shaft, which provides much more detailed backstory for John Shaft than the one seen in the film series. All of the books in the original 70s series are credited solely to Shaft's character, Ernest Tiedemann. But Shaft's big score, Onward, Tiedemann wrote them with the assistance from ghostwriters Robert Turner and Philip Rock. Hey, yo, chat show. Shout out to those guys for their help as well, too. Recurring relationships in novels and films. Quite a list here, chat, for our guy. Oh, I guess these are just people that he knows. We got John Shaft the second in here as well, and the third, so not specific types of relationships. Hey, yo. Comic strip, comic book series, television franchises, I guess, as well, too. Television series. Do we need to get in and watch the Shaft television series as well? Part of new CBS Tuesday night movies rotating with Hawkins, which starred James Stewart. Hawkins, Murder in Movieland. These are the ones that get even more lost in time, I think, Chad, or the TV movies sometimes. It's like the promotion of those as movies and then, just on the streaming services. And then, they didn't have the theatrical releases and stuff. I guess I'm not going to necessarily be able to explain why they're not as popular. But I feel like it's pretty obvious. And their just abilities to get, I feel like, reignited on the streaming services. For some reason, they just don't get picked up or is in the conversation as much as the other older movies as well too. But yeah, got the book in the 70s, got the movie in 71 after that as well too. And that is a fun thing about this movie is, again, detailed backstory. Like, I guess, spoiler alert, chat, we haven't necessarily dug into all of the 70s movies for our guy John Shaft, but you do just, of course, over the course of the movie, just realize, oh yeah, this guy, just every move that he makes is awesome. But it does make sense. You don't necessarily need to know anything about him. Who cares? I mean, they're not, who cares, but it's not vital to the point that he's chasing Christian Bale and that he is a guy that just is great at being a cop. And Busta Rhymes in this movie as well too, chat. I mean, the Busta Rhymes acting career, he might have one of the best acting careers. Is he the best rapper actor? I don't know. Yeah, maybe Ice Cube is the best rapper actor ever. Maybe he's the most high profile one anyways, in terms of the movies that he's been in. But again, in terms of the movies that he's been in, we've got Higher Learning and Shaft, and then I guess the new Naked Gun. Okay, I guess it hasn't gone up since the 90s, chat. Hot start with Higher Learning and Shaft. I guess, 5 years in between both those. Who's the Man? And then Strapped in 93. Speaking of TV movies, chat, Strapped. Hey, yo, the Rugrats movie in 98. Finding Forrester also in so Finding Forrester and Shaft for Busta Rhymes in 2000. Hey, yo, chat. And then Halloween Resurrection. I guess this is another reason for us to go into the other Halloween movies. Hey, yo, directed by Rick Rosenthal, who also directed Halloween 2. Back and adding Busta Rhymes into the franchise? Okay, chat. You talked me into it. Breaking Point 2009. Busta Rhymes is a star? A 2009 action thriller featuring Busta Rhymes? Oh, chat, we might have to go to Tubi right now and see what... I feel like Breaking Point, I've definitely seen this on there. What was it? Yeah, Breaking Point, 2009. Let's see. Tubi, Pluto, Paramount. What are the odds for this movie to be... Which streaming service is it on? The Breaking Point 1950 is not right. And there's a 2023 version Breaking Point as well too. But 2009 version of the movie is currently streaming maybe nowhere. Chat, 24 on Metacritic. We're not here for the quality. We're here because it's starring Busta Rhymes. Obviously. Streaming on Plex. Ayo, is this free? Can we watch? We got to pay to watch Breaking Point, chat? Wait, who else was in this movie? Busta Rhymes, Tom Berenger, Armand Asante, Melissa Vander, Sticky Fingers. Shout out to Sticky Fingers, chat. But Busta Rhymes as a lead would be fun to watch. As we'll do. Busta Rhymes just, carrying weapons around. Hey, yo, not trying to get the man in trouble here, but just from an action movie standpoint, I feel like would make a lot of sense. Again, not necessarily every actor can play an action hero in a movie, I think. I don't really think that's a hot take. That's, not every actor can play an action movie in a hero the same way. But that's a pretty good, at least top 2 anyways, for our guy Busta Rhymes, for the main movies that he's been in. If we were going Ice Cube, again, Higher Learning, also potentially an option. But you kind of would have to go, it almost kind of has to be Boys in the Hood and Friday, honestly, for Ice Cube. So Boys in the Hood and Friday between Shaft and Higher Learning. Chat, we might have to go Boys in the Hood and Friday on that one. As much as Higher Learning and Shaft would be up there in the rewatches. I mean, Friday and Boys in the Hood is pretty tough to pass on as I do. But Pac as well too. If you had Above the Rim and Juice, oh, chat, we might have even one up that one. Did you get a basketball movie in there? Above the Rim and Juice, or Higher Learning and Friday. I mean, it could be Higher Learning and Friday, or Friday and what do you say? Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood and Friday, or Juice and Above the Rim, chat. That is tough to pick from. What's Eminem's second movie besides 8 Mile, chat? That movie's not necessarily the first one I think of. And Christian Bale, chat. I mean, I'm trying to think of I guess, prison movies and all that stuff. The idea of the guy sort of being toughened up in prison. Ayo, But it's like, okay, this guy off the rich guy off the streets. How does he handle himself? But Bale just, I mean, right away. The nut shot is definitely a little dirty, but he is establishing himself the dominance right away, chat. I mean, that's how he earns the respect, of course, of Peoples Hernandez. But it is a fun turn. And I mean, it does show you that Christian Bale is really not messing around in this movie. And I mean, he takes his rich privilege seriously, chat. He really does think he can get away with anything. It is an impressive talent for our guy, Bale, at this point. But who else am I missing, chat? 50 Cent. Do we need to go back and look up the 50 Cent filmography here? 50 Cent in, of course, his movie Get Rich Die Trying. Discography? No, chat. We're the rare people. We're going the 50 Cent filmography. Oh, I don't think it's got its own page. Maybe it's just the. Oh, wait a second. I'm the Den of Thieves. How could I forget about Den of Thieves? So Get Rich and Die Trying or Den of Thieves? Oh, chat. That's another one. That's another tough combo. And to be honest, for me, Above the Rim and Juice maybe is a better combination, like a more watch. I think a better, we're not arguing quality here. We're just like I have to get 2 of these movies and just watch them all the time. But Above the Rim and Juice is up there. But Get Rich and Die Trying, I watched that movie a lot, chat. I had that movie on all the time. It is what it is. So between that and Den of Thieves, you really do get a couple of good options. And, a newer movie as well, too, with Den of Thieves. It's fun. Spy 2015? Hey, yo. Escape Plan. The Expendables 4? He's in The Expendables 4, I guess. Escape Plan 2013. I feel like I've seen that one on Tubi, chat. Arnold and Sty? Wait, Jim Caviezel? Arnold and Sty? And Vincent D'Onofrio? And 50 Cent? This one might be up on the watch list as well, too, chat. That's a pretty stacked cast. Blood Out 2011. Morning Glory 2010. Gun. Caught in the Crossfire 13 and 12. A Busy Man in 2010 with the acting, chat. Before I Self-Destruct the Video. I don't know, does that count for an acting credit on there? I guess. But 50 Cent is up there as well, too. So if I'm forgetting another obvious one, chat. But obviously for the newer guys, I guess, how many movies has ASAP been in? But he's, of course, dope for our guy ASAP. But for the newer artists, they don't. I guess like Drake he started out with the acting career, but I don't know if what TV show Degrassi, is that the TV show that he's in, chat? We should know. Again, we don't watch TV shows, but I don't know if he counts obviously in this same type of conversation. So Jeffrey Wright and Christian Bale, of course, Commissioner Gordon and Batman in jail. They don't even realize that they're going to be on the straight and narrow in a couple of years fighting crime in Gotham City. But as of right now, is John Shaft really responsible for Batman, chat? Christian Bale, Bruce Wayne used to be a spoiled brat, then, accidentally killed the guy. Well, not accidentally, killed the guy. And then John, I guess that'd be kind of a shady story for Batman as well, too. And, kind of a different twist from what we get later, but of course, for Christian Bale, the development as a person throughout the movie. But at least there are a couple of overlapping storylines. Oh, chat, maybe this is the one time our guy Shaft is out on the, gets the wrong end of the. Well, Shaft getting the wrong end of the stick is wild. But the news report arresting the rich kid is a bad look, of course. What age the best, chat, but still relevant today. And I guess how have we not even mentioned the director at this point as well too, John Singleton, chat. Shout out as well too. Definitely I mean, he's got to be a Mount Rushmore director for the Rem and Sam pod. There's no way he's not, chat. There's no. I guess I haven't really sat down and figured out my favorite directors list, because I do feel like we lean actors a little more. But I was thinking about it because, again, we watched Man on Fire and Deja Vu back to back, and I was like, where does Tony Scott rank in our best director? Like, if we were just ranking Tony Scott movies, because I forget which rewatchables episode we were listening to. Maybe it was the Gladiator one, chat. I forget. But they had asked the question on there of whose movies would you rather take, Ridley Scott or Tony Scott? And I was like, oh, Ridley Scott does have maybe the little more prestigious movies, but I feel like, again, with did Ridley Scott work with Denzel? So it just becomes a question of who do you want to watch. But if we actually sat down and did the director rankings, I guess there's just no way that you wouldn't take John Singleton. And I mean, if you mixed in the TV as well too, you get the whole executive producing director stuff in there as well. But I mean, where's the miss chat? I guess, we got to go back and rewatch Rosewood, I guess. But I guess, poetic, we're counting Poetic Justice as a win chat because we watch it multiple times. So, I mean, what else do you want from a movie? But you've got Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, Higher Learning, Shaft, Baby Boy, Too Fast, Too Furious, Four Brothers, all the way to 2005. And then 2011, Abduction chat. Yeah, Taylor, who's this guy? Taylor Lautner. What's John Singleton doing casting Taylor Lautner in a movie chat? Hey, yo. But that run, obviously, the 90s into the 2000s, is pretty unbeatable. Producer on Hustle and Flow as well, too. So if we technically get that in the John Singleton movie career, I mean, why wouldn't we chat? Television, I mean, well, Snowfall, Billions. We got him directing an episode of Billions, and Empire as well. So, and 30 for 30. Which episode of 30 for 30 direct? Marion Jones, Press Pause? Okay, chat. We'll have to go back and watch that one as well, too. But between him, so, it's him, Spike Lee, and then Coogler at this point as well, too, adding Sinners into the mix is definitely, and did he need Sinners to become a great director? No, but obviously, probably his best movie to date as well, but just continues to, again, add and bulk up the discography, where his last two movies were Black Panther, maybe a little repeat, they're a little stuck in the franchise ways, but now, of course, with the Black Panther movies, with Creed, with Fruitvale Station, Sinners, which, am I missing one chat for Coogler? Because, again, he still is earlier in the career as well at this point. Wait a second, how many Cooglers are out there where we have to go Ryan? Here we go. Ryan Coogler chat. Shout out to Ryan Coog. Yeah, okay, Fruitvale, Creed, Black Panther 2, and Sinners. So really 5 movies, but 4 types of stuff that he's going for. And, Black Panther 2 are different movies. Granted, unfortunately, he was working with different stars because of the situations there. But he's up there. You imagine as he continues to add movies, he'll continue to work in there as well, too. It really is, of course, would just be the amount of movies that are holding him back from being a first teamer at this point for the Rip and Sam historic director rankings. Spike Lee is definitely, between Spike Lee, Singleton, Nolan, and who would be a fourth one, Chad? Because, I mean, again, Nolan, just the amount of movies that you would get at this point. And, I mean, we could mention all 3 Batman movies as, like, a way to bulk up the discography. But you get, pick one Batman movie. You still get Batman, Inception, Interstellar, Tenet, Oppenheimer, Memento. I think there's another one in there. What the Prestige? Is that Nolan or The Protege or one of those ones in there as well? Maybe is Nolan, too. But, I mean, that's just obviously a pretty incredible stack of DVDs if you had to get those. So that, I think, would be a pretty solidified top 3, and then maybe Tony Scott would be in the top 4, chat, honestly, because if you think director that worked with Denzel the most, I mean, that's going to be a quite, chat, and how Beverly Hills Cop 2, yeah, it might be Tony Scott. Crimson Tide, Enemy of the State, Man on Fire, Deja Vu, I mean, Tony Scott might be the Gene Hackman of directors, to be honest. Like, just to go back through that list, Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder. I guess speaking of True Romance, I didn't realize even he had directed that one. We need to go back to that one more. Crimson Tide, Enemy of the State, Man on Fire, Deja Vu. I guess we watched Enemy of the State as well. So Hulu just has all the Tony Scott movies, I guess. So shout out the legendary Tony Scott. But that is a stacked. I mean, you're getting Eddie Murphy, Denzel, and Will Smith, and speaking of Gene Hackman, you're getting Gene Hackman obviously as well too, in multiple movies there. As well. And wait, who stars in True Romance, chat? Ayo, dumb question. But Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken. Of course, chat. We should know. But maybe a little bit of a different movie than Crimson Tide, Enemy of the State, Deja Vu, Man on Fire. But romance crime film, chat? Why have we not watched this one more often? Where is this streaming right now? Is this on Hulu as well, too? Do they have a True Romance, chat. Let's see what we got. Okay, yeah, as of, June 2025, I guess we'll see where it is streaming at. I feel like now that I see I feel like I've seen this image for the trailer. I have this in the watch list where I feel like I have almost every movie in IMDb at this point in the watch list. But Oh, no streaming chat. Daily Motion. Hopefully, power through for this. Oh yeah, Quentin Tarantino. That's why I wasn't necessarily associating this with Tony Scott, because I thought maybe I was associating that with Quentin Tarantino in my mind. But Tarantino writing, Tony Scott directing, maybe that's a fun thing that could have happened with Tarantino more. Him just writing, but him directing his own movies as well too. You know, his style and voice is, that's a fun, I guess, has Who's Seen True Romance? It's a pretty popular movie, but that's a fun clash of styles, because I think as directors, and speaking of Deja Vu and Man on Fire, like stylistically, those are very unique movies, and Tarantino movies obviously are stylistically very unique and a little different from what Tony Scott was going for. So that's a fun clash mixing up there in that movie. And again, I think it works that the Metacritic wasn't very good there, but I feel like nobody's ever spoken bad of that movie, hearing people talk about it. So yeah, again, I think Singleton would be a lock for first team all Rem and Sam Pod directors. So I guess, however we want to frame it, first team, that does give you an extra spot, because first team is 5. Mount Rushmore would be 4. So, how exclusive do we want the list to be? But those 3 were the first 3 that I would be like, okay, yeah, boom, boom, boom. And again, more modern, if I go back and look at like, oh yeah, this guy was directed a bunch of older movies that we really like. I think, that one guy that we was looking at that wrote this character as well too, and also wrote The French Connection. It's like, oh, what is his I guess, again, screenwriter, IMDb, the novels, all that stuff. But what does that look like? I mean, the Russo brothers, chat, if I'm getting biased and getting personal, it's like, okay, we get Winter Soldier. Again, that's sort of the one thing. It's like they were really good with the Marvel franchise. But, Gray Man is also pretty rewatchable as well too, chat. So I'm trying to, like, with Training Day, like Fuqua, like, what other movies am I not thinking about that he directed? That's what, who's the Sicario, Villeneuve obviously has a pretty stacked IMDb at this point, and not even with Dune, chat. I feel like Dune would even be our least watched one at this point. He's got just Arrival, Sicario, and there's another one that I'm not thinking of at this point as well too. Here, we'll go to him real quick and see what he's got. Okay, Fuqua, Tears of the Sun, King Arthur, Shooter, Brooklyn's Finest, Olympus Has Fallen, Southpaw, Magnificent Seven, the Equalizer trilogy as well too. So, oh wait, why? Oh, because Training Day is mentioned up here. The Replacement Killers, his debut film. I feel like that one's also in our watch list as well. So his is a little bit similar to Tony Scott's in the style. Again, those little action-y movies that he's going for. But Training Day, definitely the best movie of all the movies, or my favorite movie of all the movies that we mentioned between Scott and Fuqua. But I would pick the collection of Tony Scott's movies over Fuqua's movies. Oh, Shaft, Relentless, chat. Just beats the guy on the street. But, I mean, he deserves it. You're picking on the kids, chat. You can't set the next generation. I mean, if Shaft's around, he's protecting everybody. So you're not gonna influence the kids. If Shaft is I guess, got his way with it. It is what it is. But then he's also, I mean, is it more the influence, or is it more the mom asking for it, if I remember correctly? I was looking away there. But maybe he's just always networking, chat. Shaft, he's a networker. It is what it is. But I mean, we could, search directors all day, I guess, and figure out who. And, I'm just stuck in thinking of action movies right now as well, too. We start going into comedies and all the other different directions. Who's the musical guy, chat? For who did La La Land and Babylon? What's his name? Why am I not thinking of his name right now? Oh, Jesus, chat. What is his name? I guess we were looking up Villeneuve to see what his movies are real quick, but I should know his name, chat. The La La Land director. Chazelle! Damien Chazelle. I guess, he's still on the rise, but I like Babylon. Again, this has got Margot Robbie, so that's a win. But Babylon, La La Land, and Whiplash, it's a little bit farther down on the list in some of the, the entertainment rewatchability value. Its quality is there for sure. But, and, a film like Whiplash is, I feel like hot take, a pretty great film as well, too. But he is still, I think, he might need the action. If he did an action movie, that would be fun. Again, he likes sort of the artsy type films, but that would be a fun route for him. And then here, let me double check again. I guess the Villeneuve. Am I even saying his name right, chat? I don't even know. Again, these pronunciation guides are basically useless. But his filmography is in Cindy's chat. I forgot about that. That's a wild movie. Prisoners. Maybe Prisoners is what I'm thinking of. Oh, Blade Runner was the other one I was thinking of. How could I forget about Blade Runner? Gosling chat. Blade Runner, Sicario, Enemy. But Prisoners is definitely a movie that I would throw on quite a bit if we had this stack of movies. Between Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, and Blade Runner, and Dune movies as well too. That is a pretty fun run for our guy Villeneuve. Sicario obviously being an amazing movie. So yeah, but either way, Singleton is in the absolute lock top 3 right now anyways with the competition. So I don't know honestly who. I guess we'd have to, if we're doing a pod belt, we'd have to get Sam's take and see what it is. But I honestly don't think that there's a bad there's hot take. There's no bad choice between Spike Lee, Christopher Nolan, and John Singleton in our book. But it would just, I guess, have to be, again, the vibe. Nolan, I guess they all are kind of similar vibes. Like, maybe Spike would be the one where you do get sort of the most variety in the type of movies. Because you could get, like, you're getting Malcolm X in there. You're getting Inside Man. But you're also getting the early Spike vibe as well, too. Singleton, again, as he moves into the 2000s, there is a little bit of a difference there. But between, like Shaft, Too Fast, Too Furious, again, Poetic Justice, like all these movies, there is a feel, the early 2000s, in the 90s. But there is a feel to those movies that is kind of similar as well. But again, between this and Too Fast and Too Furious, it is him sort of taking on that heist movie, or not heist movie necessarily, but, action movie more so type role. And this is a different action movie than a movie like Fast and Furious. Again, it's sort of a one-man martial arts type movie instead of the bigger action set piece type movie. But it would have been a fun lane for him to continue to go down as well too. Like with him working with Samuel like this, him working with Denzel would have been awesome. I mean, that would have been maybe too much overpowering for a movie. Like the expectations for that, if that movie wasn't our, that's too much, Chad. It's like if it wasn't our favorite movie of all time, we'd be disappointing. And it might just be anyways, just because it's like, okay, well, we get to watch a John Singleton and it's got Denzel, just checking all the boxes at one time. So, Christian Bale just will show right up to Peoples Hernandez's house, chat, unafraid, just making deals, trying to recruit Peoples Hernandez to be on his team. What does he steal again? Like, just straight up just his mom's jewelry or something like that? Hey, yo, $40,000 for Peoples Hernandez. Is that what it's on a hit, right? Hey, yo, chat. On a hit, 40K on a hit? I mean, I don't necessarily know what the exact market is on the criminal market for all these deals. But that does feel like it could be potentially a bargain as well, too. I'm not necessarily certain. But do we have to go to the ChatGPT and see what would a... Because I don't even know... We could direct it in for a certain type of movie. Again, Denzel being more of an action movie star, but you could see him taking a different type of role with Singleton. And again, there is a funness to, a movie like Baby Boy, or a movie like Poetic Justice, no, it isn't an action movie, but there's action in the movie. Hey, yo, chat. Hey, yo. So it's like, what would a John Singleton directed movie starring Denzel Washington have looked like? Maybe we get Busta Rhymes in this as well too, chat. I guess we definitely have to cast a rap. Oh wait, what are we spelling here, chat, for this name? John Singleton directed movie starring Denzel Washington have looked like. So we don't even know the plot, the style, what we're getting. We said Tony Scott's name a lot of times here, so let's see what type of movie, if that becomes an influence as well too. But John Singleton directed movie star Denzel Washington would have been an electric fusion of two creative powerhouses: Singleton's socially charged street-level realism and Denzel's commanding gravitas. While never officially collaborated, imagining such a film brings to mind a project that will likely sit alongside Malcolm X, Boys in the Hood, or Training Day in cultural impact, chat. So high expectations for whatever this potential movie is. Possible film scenarios: title, The Cornerstone, crime drama / political thriller. Oh, I like the start of this. South Central LA, late 1990s is the setting for this movie. The plot, Denzel, Raymond Stone Carter, a former Black Panther turned community leader, trying to reform his neighborhood through political organization and youth outreach. So John Singleton is basically directing the Diamond Dog movie from Con Air, Chad. Hey, yo, they got Denzel the star in it, and he's not playing Diamond Dog, but he's playing Raymond Stone, I guess. So when a local team is killed by corrupt cops, he's pulled back into a life of resistance and moral conflict. Meanwhile, a new generation of hustlers, some inspired by him, others in opposition, challenge his non-violent methods. Hey, yo, chat. So maybe not a Diamond Dog-like character after all, but theme, systematic oppression, black leadership and generational trauma, community versus capitalism, fatherhood and legacy. Hey, yo, chat. A tone of a blend of a Boys in the Hood's emotional grounding and Clocker's tension. Long takes, handheld cameras, 90s era hip-hop, gritty realism. Denzel would deliver an emotional powerhouse scene in a city council hearing or church basement, and you'd feel the weight of every word. Co-stars, Regina King. I'm all in, chat. The Tony Scott influences fell in the right ways. Hey, yo, pause. Regina King as his activist wife or sister. I mean, I guess, that'd be, I don't know if it's weirder to let Denzel make that choice or not, but, it could really go either way, chat. Sister, I feel like, has Denzel ever had a sister in a movie, I guess, is the question. Probably not. So I think we know which way he's going there. Lorenzen Tate. Oh, chat, shout out. A fiery protege gone astray. Ayo. Ice Cube. Oh, chat, this is a stacked movie. Ice Cube is a radical turned councilman. Oh, chat, really taking on the controversial roles here. As always, Terrence Howard as a crooked police contact. Whoa, chat. I mean, if Denzel is in this movie, people are going to sign up. So we're probably going to get whoever we want at this point. But that's a crazy co-starring list. Alternate film concept, prison drama. Oh, can we just rerun this cast back in any of these movies, chat? I don't know. Prison drama sounds good. Denzel plays a wrongfully imprisoned prisoner mentoring a group of inmates. A little He Got Game vibes, stealing from Spike Lee here. Singleton's lens turns the prison industrial complex into a stage for racial community, education, and rebellion, chat. Hey, yo. Father-son drama, Southland. A slower, more intimate drama where Denzel plays an emotionally distant father to his teen son. Maybe played by a young Michael B. Jordan. What about John David? John David Washington. The story is about cycles of pain and struggle to reconnect. Or a neo-noir thriller, Black Rain. Denzel, a former cop turned private investigator, navigating the drug-laced backstreets of the 1990s. 1990s LA. Singleton brings moral ambiguity and street sensibility. Denzel brings fire and control. So that would set John Singleton in more of that action direction that we were wondering, chat. Hey, yo. And we can just run that cast back as well, too. Cinematography, it is what it is. Music score, Tupac, Mobb Deep, Sade, chat, Raphael Sadiq, Stanley Clark would be stacked for sure. Cultural impact, again, in line with Malcolm X and Boys in the Hood. So this movie is definitely going to be a hit. Let's get this Black Rain plot. Can we use this cast for Black Rain and see what we get? Neo-noir thriller, chat. Denzel is a cop. I assume there's corruption involved. I mean, just because Denzel is not shy from playing a controversial character, and Singleton could definitely take on some themes as well too. I'm not saying that even Denzel's the corrupt one. Maybe he's fighting the corruption. Use this cast for Black Rain plot. See what we get here, chat. We should not lose sight of where Peoples Hernandez is at in his operation as well too. But Denzel, Regina King, Lorenzen Tate, Ice Cube, Terrence Howard. Hey, yo, chat. South Central later. During a torrential El Nino season, a weary ex-cop turned PI is drawn into conspiracy involving a murder councilwoman, a crooked redevelopment plan, and a series of targeted killings while the streets drown in relentless rain and buried secrets. Oh, chat, relentless rain the entire time. Denzel Washington as Malik Graves. Whoa, chat, Malik Graves putting people in the grave. A brilliant, haunted former LAPD detective who walked away after exposing internal corruption. There is corruption, chat. There always is. Now a PI, he's dragged back into the underworld when a childhood friend is murdered. Oh, chat. You hate to see it. That's a little Beverly Hills Cop right there. Denzel brings controlled fury and quiet pain. Think Devil in a Blue Dress meets Training Day. Whoa! Whoa! That's kind of a clash of styles there. Regina King is Detective Arena Moreau, a straight shooting rising LAPD detective and Malik's former partner. They have a history professionally and romantically. Hey, yo, chat. Arya is still inside the system. Malik's rejected, but she's starting to doubt herself. Regina balances hard-nosed skepticism with emotional intelligence. Lorenzen Tate as Kareem Reem Holiday, a young, hyper-intelligent street hustler with dreams beyond the corner. He's linked to the victim, holds crucial knowledge, but doesn't trust anyone. Lorenzen brings energy, edge, heart. He and Malik form a reluctant alliance. Ice Cube is Councilman Andre Vaughn. Ice Cube still a councilman. Maybe Ice Cube is demanding to play a councilman at this point, chat. It is what it is. But we've got once a revolutionary, now a polished councilman, but he's selling out the neighborhood? Oh, chat, Ice Cube, you hate to see it. Or playing a longer game. Ice Cube walks the line between righteous fire and cold pragmatism. We're really demanding. This is like Ice Cube's chance to like go for acting, chat. It's like best supporting role for Ice Cube here. And then Terrence Howard as a Detective Roland Price. Hey, yo, chat. A corrupt, charismatic, always one step ahead. Price is the kind of cop who knows how to smile in front of the cameras and kill behind closed doors. Howard plays him as slippery and sinister. Okay, during the wettest season in a decade, I mean, I guess Denzel is involved. Whoa! Beloved community access and councilwoman is found dead in a rain-slick alley, and we could get another, major cameo for this part. She's in like one scene. She just gets killed right away. This is like the who's the guy in Runaway Jury that just gets, his head shot at the first scene. They're just like pulling up for one day of shooting. Pause. Like an afternoon. Her murder is pinned on a local gang, but Malik Graves doesn't buy it. Hired by her grieving family, he descends back into the LA he tried to forget. Now darker, wetter, and more dangerous. It's like erotic thriller, chat. Basic Instinct crossed with Training Day. Ooh, that could be a fun movie. He pulls as he pulls threads, he uncovers a massive land grab scheme tied to shady redevelopment plans, involvement of police, developers, politicians, including his former allies, a pattern of targeted killings made to look like street violence. Kareem, a bright kid caught between being used or discarded, who becomes Malik's unlikely partner. The deeper Malik gets, the more he is confronted not just with the city's rot, but with his own complicity in the broken system. Climax, chat, this is a very sexual movie here. High stakes showdown at abandoned housing project during a lightning storm. Secrets are exposed, alliances break. Malik faces Price in a brutal, word-heavy standoff. Denzel delivers a blistering monologue on justice, betrayal, and survival. Soundtrack, opening credits, Rain on Me by Scarface. Mood setters, Mob Deep, again, Sade, DJ Quick, Portishead. Original score, Raphael Sadiq plus Adrian Young, blend synths and strings. Style and vibe, street soaks, neon lights bouncing off puddles. Oh, long slow takes, Singleton's realism meets New War stylization. Heavy shadows, flickering street lamps, vinyl trench coats, low riders in mist, themes of corruption, gentrification, survival's guilt, black resilience, chat. Awards buzz. Oh, this movie's gonna get some awards buzz. Hey, yo, Denzel nominee, Regina King, Best Supporting Actress, and John Singleton, Best Director. Posthumous acclaim, chat. Hey, yo, alternate timeline. Okay, chat. We don't need to go there, but we can just. Why can't we just pretend it's like 2000 all over again? Hey, yo, maybe we want to anyways, chat. But a poster tagline of a TV spinoff already? We haven't even made the movie yet, chat. Hey, yo. So we know we got our cat. Regina King is Best Supporting Actress. Good for her, chat. I'm glad we are allowing her to get that opportunity as well too. But the soundtrack is a must as well. So what is the soundtrack for the movie? Let's see if we get a little Mob Deep in here, chat. Could be fun. Here's an original soundtrack for Black Rain with 90s hip-hop, soul, and West Funk, and haunting modern noir instrumentals as well. So Rain on Me, of course, the opening song. DJ Quick, Just Like Compton. Cypress Hill allusions to Isaiah Rashad, chat. So we're, really going through hip-hop history here. What's Wrong featuring Kendrick Lamar and Zakari. Reflective moments when Malik questions the system. Listening to Isaiah Rashad, chat. Hey, yo. And then Andre Young? Hey, yo. Black Innocence. Score. Slow orchestral noir tension. Haunting violins and bass-driven suspense. Hey, yo, chat. Action and confrontation scene. So, yeah, of course, we're going to get Shook Ones Part 2 in here. Violent remix. Tupac. Run the Jewels walking in the snow. Updated Singleton's tone. Anger, precision, protest, and rhythm. I mean, if we're going to get some modern hip-hop in here, Run the Jewels, I feel like would definitely fit the vibe for sure. And then emotional flashback and grief scenes. Sade, King of Sorrow. Curtis Mayfield, The Makings of You in Hiatus Quixote, Breathing Underwater. Used in Regina King's introspectful moments. So Regina King wins her Oscar set to this song right here. Torn between loyalty and truth. Hey, yo, chat. And then driving montages, of course. Okay. Warren G, What's Love Got to Do with It, featuring Adina Howard. And then Kendrick Lamar, The Art of Peer Pressure. Oh, whoa, chat. That would be a poll for this. Like, what's the deepest cut off of Good Kid, Mad City? A deep dive into Kareem's world. Narrative-driven street scenes. Ayo. And then the final confrontation, we get an original score. Moody orchestral with analog synths, West Coast funk echoes, and mirror key horns. And then Nipsey Hussle Ocean Views in the end credits, along with BJ the Chicago Kid. Church, the acoustic version. Whoa. ChatGPT really giving us a poll here. Alternate, if ending is heavier, gospel tone for reflection. I mean, hey, yo, chat. That could be fun as well, too. Oh, bonus deluxe cut editions. Ice Cube gives us an original song. I mean, you might have to, Chad. Then Anderson .Paak as well too. It's got to jump on the soundtrack for this. So we don't have an EP, not like a '90s EP, no more collection of '90s songs for sure. And you know, some new ones in there. But we got ourselves a fun soundtrack, chat, and we need to add a basketball scene. We know Denzel could definitely be in this basketball scene. Denzel, Ice Cube, and Terrence Howard playing basketball, chat? I guess I don't know if the councilmen and the cop are going to be playing basketball as well, too. The scene title, No Umbrellas on the Court. Placement right after Act 2. Right after Malik, Denzel, and Lorenzen Tate's character hit a dead end of their investigation. Tenses are high, but they need to regroup. Setting, a cracked blacktop court behind an old community center of South Central. Chain nets, a single flickering overhead light. Rain mist in the air, but not a full downpour yet. Lo-fi beats nearly from a nearby boombox, playing Anderson .Paak's The Season / Carry Me. Hey, yo, chat. Purpose of the story, character building, reveal hidden trauma, highlight contrast. Malik's old school fundamentals versus Kareem's flashy street moves. So maybe we recast Ray Allen in this as well, too, chat, instead of Lorenzen Tate. But Lorenzen Tate versus Denzel in a basketball scene. A little dialogue here. Man, this court's like church for me. And out here, nobody lies. You either got game or you don't. Oh, Chad, I like that. I think that probably is on purpose. But the you got game little reference from, I guess it's from Kareem here, not Malik. But either way, just in the scene, dropping the you got game is fun. Malik says, game don't mean much if you can't play safe. We used to hoop here till the lights went out. Then the sirens would come on. Hey, yo, Chad. I heard your brother used to cook cats here. Best lefty I ever saw. Ain't no plaque, though. No one remembers him but me. Shout out Malik's brother, Chad. Hey, yo, a little flashback scene to, like, maybe Ray Allen is the brother in a flashback scene, like, getting up a couple of buckets. But some visual style notes here as well. There's some filmmaking notes for the rest of it. Music cue. And we get Hiatus Quixote back as well, too, this time building a ladder. Why it matters? Because it's a metaphor. The court is a sanctuary, but even sanctuaries flood in this city. Wait a second. Is there flooding at some point at the end of this as well, too? Who knows? Do you want a cameo from an NBA player? Oh, Ray Allen? Oh, chat. Look at this. We're already thinking like ChatGPT now that we've used it so many times. So Denzel and John Singleton and Ice Cube and Terrence Howard and Lorenzen Tate and Regina King in Black Rain, chat. The What If Denzel, the lost Denzel John Singleton movie that we've mysteriously uncovered, wink, wink, on the Rem and Sam pod. Okay, recovered, chat. We're back in. We've got the corrupt cops tailing Shaft at this point. Maybe we need to add corrupt cops as well, too. I guess, you know, Denzel is just uncovering corruption throughout the course of the whole movie. Maybe in this one But do we need to actually cast a couple of corrupt? I mean, there's going to be at some point a casting of a couple of corrupt cops in the movie. It's just what it is. A corrupt cop duo, chat, that just gets shot at the end of the movie. And speaking of Tony Scott as well, too, Enemy of the State. Maybe we need to have like an Enemy of the State style ending where just the council meeting goes south and everybody just starts open fire. Well, hey, we don't want to be insensitive, but this is like everybody just it'd be like a corruption, there's like bad stuff going on, and it's like, okay, we're not feeling bad for everybody here, but this is a deal scene as well too. People pulling up in the cars to make deals could definitely be on the checklist for something to happen. But the idea of the people getting double crossed as well too, or set up, is a little bit, a deal going south just because is not necessarily unheard of. But Shaft, of course, again, always sort of one step ahead. I mean, even, spoiler alert, chat, up until planning what he needs to on him here. So wait a second. We were going to go through the rest of the cast and look at some of those supporting characters. So I want to know who was that crazy cop as well too. Which, of course, Shaft, he's got to need the help of the Force. So he's going to have to, even if he doesn't get along with everybody, he's going to, is it this Dan Hedaya guy? Maybe? Wait, let me go back and see the names. Which one's Hedaya, chat? Detective, is Jack Rosselli the racist one, chat? It might be. 25 years later, they may look a little different than what was on the old Wikipedia page there. But, of course, yeah, like we said, we've got Samuel, Vanessa Williams, Jeffrey Wright, Christian Bale, Mekhi Phifer, Buster Rhymes. Hey, yo, chat, what are we saying here? Dan Hedaya, Ruben Santiago Hudson as Detective Jimmy Gross, Joseph Summer as Kurt Fleming, and now we're into kind of the other part of the cast as well too. Oh, Lawrence Taylor as Lamont, chat, shout out. But and Richard Roundtree making the appearance as well too, forgot about that, chat. But yeah, fun, of course. Crew, Samuel L as the star, and I guess Christian Bale as the supporting is the sort of reverse, like saying for last one. Wait, let's go back here to this one, because yeah, usually it would be Christian Bale doing some kind of, I guess, chat, the transformation would be a little probably Tropic Thunder-esque, probably not be the same sort of way. Speaking of Basic Instinct, chat, a couple of ice picks used in this movie as well too to potentially be a threat. Oh, Shaft, he makes his getaway while they're not looking. I mean, Peoples Hernandez is definitely towing a line at this point for starting a situation. It is what it is. But he makes it a long ways, honestly, I think, for, again, the high key level that he's running in this movie. He really does. The over-under for minutes survived for Peoples Hernandez, I think, is definitely there. Oh, Chad, how can we forget? We're talking about Training Day. How can we, speaking of, Buster Rhymes is back on the screen. So speaking of actors or rappers in movies, Snoop Dogg. How can we forget about Snoop Dogg as well, too? Training Day is crazy. And his part in that is awesome. So Training Day, again, Training Day is going to be the best movie of almost any movie that we mentioned. It's just what it is. But Busta Rhymes does have I guess there is kind of a fun, corny energy to Busta Rhymes. Not corny, but like an unintentional, funniness element to Busta Rhymes and Snoop Dogg compared to some of the other guys. I mean, there's always going to potentially be that element as well too. But again, you get a guy like Pac or even a guy like Eminem, and are they amazing? Pac obviously would have been a really great actor. I don't know if Eminem would have been the actor of Pac, but that's like a guy that of course could actually do multiple roles and is actually like trying to be an actor, versus it's like, okay, this is a little bit more of a fun casting and getting a different type of name, a different type of vibe in this role. So I was gonna say, do we need a rapper in our John Singleton movie? But we do have Ice Cube in that. So we could cast a new one. And we do also have to cast John David Washington. He's going to be in it. He's in every movie that we cast. So just, John David Washington cameo for sure as, like, I don't know if he's a detective or, like, they go to him as, like, an informant in one of the scenes. Maybe that's what it is, chat. I don't know if that's, again, now we're back on, like, the sort of Shaft pacing comedy vibe of it. But if he needs a connection at one point, Tate's like, I know a guy. And then they go to John David Washington and he uncovers some information. Oh, the dual pistols, chat. Shaft, the headshot to the guy in the back seat through the car. Oh, this is where People Hernandez turns, chat. Shaft, of course. You kill, Peoples Hernandez, he's a man of the people, but also the man of the family as well, too. So now we get, chat, I mean, the self-inflicted damage is, you can already tell, Peoples Hernandez is unraveling himself. But Samuel, a little, the car, a little Harrison Ford, a little Indiana Jones with the situation there, where he could have just easily kind of taken out Peoples Hernandez, even if it was a threat. So Busta Rhymes, drive, you got to do a better job than our guy Habert in Heat, chat. It is what it is. Can we get IT to isolate Habert driving away in the chase? It is what it is. But does Busta Rhymes make any, the Dennis Habert is crazy, but do we get a Dennis Habert reaction from our guy Busta Rhymes? There is similar, there could be a similar yell as well too from our guy Habert. So yeah, the cops are no good, chat. You pull up to this type of scene, people are dying, people are gonna get blamed and thrown in prison and uncovered and plots discovered as well too. It is what it is. So Hernandez, chat, on the chase. I guess, do we actually see Shaft driving? Maybe that would be the thing that Nick Fury has over Shaft, chat. Whoa. I don't know if we've, the comparisons for for Samuel L. Jackson characters. This is Nick Fury characters. No, what's his name, chat? Samuel Jackson is actually his name. But I guess, do we rank who's the coolest Nick Fury character? It's gonna be really, I mean, Jules, of course, is just gonna be as iconic as you get. So can we rank John Shaft over Jules, chat, from Pulp Fiction as well? And if we're going acting ability in some roles to like it, obviously not every Tarantino movie he's in, he's the most likable guy, but he's always, again, a really amazing performer. But are those the top two? And then Nick Fury number 3, chat. I mean, just from I guess the Marvel MCU part of his box office for the filmography is going to definitely help bulk that up as well too. But who else would be Mount Rushmore Samuel L. characters, chat, that we should pay homage to as well? I feel like it's just the top two, just Shaft and Jules, and then I guess whoever else, and then Lieutenant Danny Roman from The Negotiator as well. Oh yeah, I guess Mr. Glass as well, if we were saying him again in the mix. Oh, Coach Carter! How can we forget about Coach Carter, chat? Hey yo, so we've got Jules, John Shaft, Nick Fury. Coach Carter over Nick Fury though. Coach Carter actually carrying a movie. Nick Fury, does he ever carry a movie? But he did have a Disney Plus show run. I have to actually ask the question now because we've been keeping up on our Marvel Disney Plus shows. And then Soul Men, Lewis from Soul Men. But Lewis from Soul Men as a character compared to some of these other guys, I don't know. I mean, fun movie. And obviously him and Bernie Mac is a great tandem as well. Should we have casted Bernie Mac in our John Singleton movie? Hey, yo. I don't want to turn this into a, posthumous movie. But that would be a fun actor-director combo as well, too. Oh, chat. Bale's running out of moves right now. Peoples Hernandez, the ice pick to the ear, is a tough situation to be in. A couple of guards as well, too, to fend off. Hey, yo. Oh, I forgot about the hand, chat. Oh, the stabbing in the hand. You imagine Christian Bale. He kind of made it out. Well, I don't want to say pain-free. A couple of punches in prison and stuff like that. But he has definitely not taken a the brunt of the damage pause in this movie. So finally has to get caught up there in the pain scale for the rest of the characters. But I guess, oh yeah, the narrator chat for Inglourious Bastards, does that count? I don't know. But wait, is he 2014 RoboCop? The 2014 RoboCop remake? Hey yo, Sam Jackson, what are we doing? At least have some pride. Kingsman Secret Service as well too, chat. Isn't he in like, oh yeah, Skull Island? Colonel Preston Packer. Oh, the Hitman's Bodyguard? Darius Kincaid in the Hitman's Bodyguard as a character. I mean, that's another like top-notch type character as well too. I guess not like great character depth and storytelling, but making a lot of winning moves in the Hitman's Bodyguard. So yeah, chat, it really is just those three guys. And then wait, who as well too do we forget about? Oh, Coach Carter. So Mount Rushmore characters to hit me out. Let us know if we're wrong, chat, but we got Jules, John Shaft, Nick Fury, Coach Carter. I'm going to flip Coach Carter and Nick Fury, like we said. Nick Fury, or Coach Carter, chat. Coach Carter number 3, Nick Fury number 2. And trying to get the suspect to talk as well too is a good trope. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Denzel, did he use that trope? He goes like, this is not necessarily a Paula Patton and Deja Vu situation, but there is a, him protecting the person element as well too. I forget a little bit of the twist as well too. Obviously, he's going after her because she's the witness and she saw it. And it's not like the twist is, paid in full was in the wrong, chat. But I'm trying to remember, okay, this is the scene that unveils everything. Maybe it was just she saw it and then he came over and threatened her in that way. Oh, he didn't see her at first. Just smoking a cigarette. And, honestly for her as well too, you can get a little shocked in the moment. You're probably going to be like, oh, what's happening? And you just get kind of stuck watching. I mean, Christian Bale, Chad, this is brutal. Picks up the stanchion right out of the ground and just immediately clocks him. That is rough, Chad. That is about as rough and nasty as you can get. But she is there like not like a mailbox or something she can just like scoot behind real quick as she sees him grabbing that stanchion? Just like step back into that shadow. Plus you've got the cigarette smoke. Oh, Chad, and the fact as well too. Hey, yo, Shaft, what are we doing here getting realistic with the gurgling? That's wild, Chad. Hey, yo. Then Christian Bale notices. So, okay, that's what, I guess there wasn't really a crazy twist. I was trying to remember, did she like see something like, oh, he pulled out a gun? Or I guess it wasn't that, obviously. But threatens her with the wallet, takes the wallet, gets the bloody fingerprint on the ID. So wait, they can't just like run DNA on that as well too? And just be like, okay, I guess that is, I mean, how is that proof that connects it? And then they showed him, touching the victim as well too. So if they had, I guess in the moment they've already tampered, as well too. The body's gone at that point and stuff. So they wouldn't be able to pull DNA off the body later, I think. Ayo, pause. But I think there would be a way to connect it all as well too. And 2025 version of this movie is interesting because there are just street cameras outside as well too that would just capture everything that goes on outside the restaurant. Like in terms of catching Christian Bale becomes a lot easier in 2025. Just the Ring camera from the shop next door just catches everything. It's like, oh, wait a second. We don't even need to spend the whole movie chasing down the witness. Just post this on Instagram. And our guy, Christian Bale, is basically caught. Oh, no, wait. I remember the twist now. It wasn't what she saw. I don't know why the look on her face just changed it to what it was. The twist, well, I guess are we going to spoil it, Chad? It was just that, I mean, so if you're watching along, it's about to happen anyways. So do we just, for some reason, if this is the first time that you've ever seen this movie, chat, then here's the twist. Boom, chat. She took the money. $100,000 to stay quiet. So that's what it was. She was running from Shaft. And that is actually a pretty good twist as well, too. Again, a lot of times, on the run because they're actually, being chased and they want to not get caught. And they're like, I'm trying to survive. But the idea of you're not running because you don't want to get caught by the police. And, obviously at the end of the day, the better person, she wins out. But it is a nice little twist as well too. And an understandable sort, not understandable, but a interesting sort of situation from a character standpoint, to give her that sort of, you don't want to say evil side, because again, she's just kind of a wrong place, wrong time. But still, you have to step up and do your civic duty as well too. But also, again, she's able to win out. Pause. I spoiler at the end of the day. Our guy John Shaft, of course, he has a way with words. He's going to be able to talk her into helping out the investigation in the way that she needs to. But the cops are still alive, chat. And we forgot about the sidekick as well too, chat. Sidekick cop, shout out. She definitely clutches up in the last couple of minutes as well. Sometimes the sidekick can be a little bit of a hold me back factor. Or, speaking of Basic Instinct, sometimes the sidekick can be this person is going to not make it. But this is an actual helpful other person. Somebody else is helpful on the police force, chat. Rare to see sometimes in action movies. I guess there usually is one person on there. But sometimes as well, too, they can be a little, maybe a former person or like an older, retired, speaking of Gene Hackman, the older person. Oh, chat. I forgot that they did actually take her down. Wait a second. No, wait. I think she's got the vest on. She may have the vest. It is what it is. I guess maybe that's a spoiler as well, too, because you're thinking she's shot in this moment. So, that's a advantage of policing as well, too, in that moment is a little more geared up. Is he going out with the shotgun to make sure that this is a, job finished, chat? I guess, what do you get? That's a heat lesson. Leave no living witnesses. So the one that you actually tried to just shoot in the moment would be tough. But here we go, chat. People rolling in at the end. Peoples Hernandez pulling up at the end, getting them distracted. Peoples Hernandez really is iconic, chat. We were talking about in the Gone in 60 Seconds, just iconic names with the city in them. I don't know, Peoples, like iconic names with the classification of species in them. It's a little bit more of a difficult thing to name out, but just best villain names in general. Peoples Hernandez is Peoples Hernandez. Do we have to give credit to the original writer for that, or is that a Singleton creation as well too? And who actually wrote the screenplay for this movie? Singleton again directed, but story by Singleton. Ayo, chats. Richard Price as well too involved. So I guess that's where we get the Clockers inspiration as well too from our Singleton movie cook-up, because the writer for this movie would have been in Clockers. But wait, what were we gonna? Oh, chat, I just forgot. What were we gonna look up? We were gonna look up the writer. Oh wait, when was Peoples Hernandez created, chat, as a character? We might have to just go a search for him. Does he have his own page? It is what it is. Oh, some recent features, chat, on Peoples Hernandez, even as of 2023, still living on in modern day culture. Obviously iconic. Evildoer. Oh, chat. Peoples Hernandez. The fandom wiki is making sure that we know he's on the wrong side of the law. But Peoples first met Wade Jr. when he was temporarily incarcerated. Oh yeah, chat. So there is no, like, I guess, other backstory for Peoples Hernandez in the comics or in the books or something like that. An original creation by our guy John Singleton, chat. Maybe the best character John Singleton has ever created. Peoples Hernandez, the Jeffrey Wright villain from Shaft. Ayo, chat. But definitely up there for names of the best names that he's ever had. best just villain names as well too. I mean, John Shaft versus Peoples Hernandez is a pretty great name battle. I feel like if anything, if our Tubi originals provide anything to the landscape of movies, it is that maybe they bring names back in a great way. Oh, chat, a headshot, AO pause to end the movie. Bad cop down. It is what it is. But I mean, he kind of, he went for the kill shot on the lady cop, so you're gonna get the revenge in that type of way, chat. Oh, Shaft with the shotgun. How many bullets does that shotgun have? Yeah, there we go, chat. Just a couple. I think maybe I got a couple extra than he should have had there. Oh, Peoples Hernandez walking straight into the fire. He doesn't matter at this point, chat. I mean, again, his brother's dead, so he kind of has a little bit of a death wish himself, honestly, at this point. But he is no longer stabbing himself with the ice pick, so at least he has maybe turned around the mentality at least a little bit, chat. So car chases, foot chases, chasing people in bars, AO, the chase of the chase of partnership. We see all kinds of chases in this movie, chat. It is what it is. A well-rounded, again, different type, a little. Not it isn't. I don't know why I'm saying it's not an action movie. Like, we're definitely getting the scenes. I don't know if, again, is Singleton in? Are these Ronin level chases? Are we talking John Wick level MMA scenes? But it doesn't matter, chat. We're getting them. We're getting the variety of all the different types of settings, and we're seeing Shaft dominating really on any type of court against any type of defense, chat. It's like, well, you gonna play zone against Shaft? You gonna get him in a car chase? I guess I was gonna say this earlier. I don't remember if I actually did, but we don't actually see him driving. Might be the one thing that would slack him, because like Denzel in Training Day, of course. Man on Fire, of course, definitely driving around in that for sure. So Denzel himself. And, have we never seen Nick Fury drive in a movie? Nick, or I guess have we ever seen Samuel? I called him Nick Fury again, chat. Driving in a movie. Of course, that's one of his great scenes in Winter Soldier, is the car scene. And I guess he's not necessarily driving in that scene. So, maybe the Samuel driving thing is something. But I'm trying to remember, is he driving Pulp Fiction, or is Travolta driving? Because I feel like there is a couple of car scenes in there as well, too. We need to go back and visit Tarantino's a little bit more often as well, too, chat. But again, we got a restriction right now on our movies. Only 40% on Rotten Tomatoes or less. I think Shaft was actually, in this, what did the critics say about Shaft, chat? Ayo, critical reception 2000, Rotten Tomatoes 67. Ayo, the site's consensus with a charismatic lead, the new Shaft knows how to push the right buttons. Whoa. Metacritic rates the film 50 out of 100. We'll take it, chat. A 50-50 scoring means it's a plus movie. The box office opened at number 1 with 21.7 million. By the end of its run, Shaft had grossed 70.3 million and 100 million worldwide. I mean, again, Samuel is a star, chat. A leading man, 100 million on a $46 million budget. That's a win. Samuel, make a proper. I mean, getting a sequel 20 years later, obviously, is a much-needed win as well, too. I mean, even a movie, again, like him and Gosling, ayo, who's in Hitman? Him and Reynolds is still him in a duo, a buddy duo type movie in a lead type role. Because again, Nick Fury is really a supporting character in all of the movies. Even if there's movies where he's more important, he is never like the 1A, 1B in a movie. So once again, chat, Nick Fury versus Peoples in the ice pick. I mean, what is this character's name as well, too, chat? Who is the character that is being chased after? Oh, is it Toni Collette, chat? Toni Colletti? I don't know if I'm saying the last name right, but she does a great job of just being scared the entire time in this movie. Her scared faces, she might, I don't know if she's going, shout out Rewatchables overacting award. I think, again, Peoples Hernandez is definitely the most animated performance in this movie, but the subtleness of her animation, I guess, is pretty impressive. Like the way she's just eyes almost rolled back into Just the way she's being held hostage here by Peoples Hernandez. Impressive stuff. On the throne to the floor, chat. Hey, yo, you almost think she's dead. She's like playing a dead character. But she's still alive almost. I mean, you know, stabs in the neck is not great as well. So speaking of Captain America, chat, that's how Winter Soldier started. Drop the weapons, let's fight man to man. But this is how Shaft's ended. So did the Russo brothers watch Shaft and go, okay, we got to borrow at least this scene from the movie. Captain America's going to fight George St. Pierre like Peoples Hernandez. But no, chat. It's a fake. It's a quick draw situation, and I don't know if anybody's going to... I mean, it's not like he was going to win against Shaft in a hand-to-hand fight as well, too. Again, you know, Shaft knows jiu-jitsu, chat. He knows judo. He knows several different types of MMA. It is what it is. But Peoples Hernandez, one of the great falls, chat, one of the great post-being-shot falls, maybe by anybody. I mean, chat, Toni Colletti looks like she's going into shock, but she's really just crying. It is what it is. So, classic move, chat. Wade trying to flee the country, but what do you do? What do you do? It is what it is. So, I'm trying to remember, does this have like a New Jack City ending where the guy pulls up at the end and just takes out Christian Bale? I forget what happens with Christian Bale's character. Does he just leave? Is he just back? Oh, wait a second, chat. Wait a second. Somebody has just entered the scene. I think maybe I'm thinking the right way. The mom. Who is the mom character for Piper? Oh, yeah. Lynn Thigpen, chat. Carla Howard. Trey's mom. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Chief Ace Kremet in the game show? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Hey, yo, chat. Shout out. But in terms of a film career, Godspell 1973, starring opposite Victor Garber. Hey, yo, shout out Victor Garber, chat. Walter Hill's 1979 The Warriors. And Leona Barrett, the mother of... Lean on Me. 1989, chat. Lean on Me. Hey, yo. Anger Management as well, too. Starring, of course, Sandler and Nicholson. Bicentennial Man. 1999. So, I mean, a pretty good filmography, chat. A pretty good filmography. They don't have the entire list there. And there it is, chat. The kill shot. The New Jack City. I mean, the New Jack City shot at the end, obviously a much more impressive look. You know, like up the stairs into a balcony, and I think he loops the bullet around the top floor as well, too. So this, you know, a much more straight on. She definitely should have gotten the look. But nobody is, I think, saying that she did the wrong thing. So, you know, the legal process has to happen. But I imagine that there is, I don't know really actually, because I guess there is real cases that we can look up for precedent of this. Oh, chat, what was the final score for the game as well, too? I imagine. Did the Panthers win the Stanley Cup? We didn't even give them a chance. We just turned the game off in the second intermission. Oh, the Panthers breezed to a win. They win the Stanley Cup 5-1. Shout out. Connor McDavid not quite able to get the ring this year. I don't know if we go Stanley Cup. Who was the Stanley Cup Finals MVP, chat? Oh, well, what are we searching here? Stanley Cup Finals MVP. Have they even announced it at this point? Is this the Smythe Award? Connor McDavid wins it anyways? Bennett wins Conn Smythe trophy as MVP. Okay, so Conn Smythe is MVP of the playoffs. Connor McDavid to win Conn Smythe. Wait, so what did Connor McDavid just win? Sam Bennett, Conn Smythe. Florida Panthers defeat Edmonton. So Sam Bennett, chat. Shout out to Sam Bennett, the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, potentially, of the NHL. Shea about to maybe win Finals MVP against the Pacers in this next game. One-time Cup winner. I guess, again, last year they won the Cup. So, doesn't have any, like, all-star awards or anything like that. So, I don't know if that's just, again, the team, sort of a balanced team. 28, entering the peak of his powers. Looked like he had an insane plays. Oh, chat, we wrote it down. We didn't even cast Paul Maurice as the villain in that John Singleton movie. Do we have to add in a cast Paul Maurice as the villain in this movie? But here, for all-stars and random stuff like that, I don't know if we have a list. Okay, a Clancy, a Selkie, a couple of Selkies. Maybe that's a... Oh, wait, who is Barkov, chat? Barkov won the Selkie and the Clancy this year. The Tom Clancy? I don't know which one. The Frank J. Selke Award. So Reinhardt and Barkov, both from Florida, 1 and 2. And then Leon Draisaitl, number 6 in the voting. A lot of centers, chat, a favor for the Selke. I don't know. Oh, top defensive forward. Okay. Top defensive forward. Oh, that's the only award listed on here, I guess. Awards index? Is that the only award they've given out at this point? Awards by year? 2024, 2025? Let's see here what we got. Awards voting for the Frank Selke. I guess that's it, chat. I guess that's it. So here, I guess it'll tell us what the awards mean anyways from last year, and then we can at least learn a little bit. So the Hart Memorial Trophy is the most valuable. Connor McDavid was 3rd in voting for that last year. So wait, do we have a Hart Trophy? Hockey fans are gonna be like, obviously we haven't given out the Hart Trophy yet. Hart Trophy 2025. Let's see what we got. Corey Helbuchek won the 2025 Most Valuable Player. I don't know if I said that right at all, but June 12th. So this is pretty recent. I mean, Hockey Reference update, chat. Update. Oh, and as Shaft drives off, chat, the Hardcore Detective once again for the win. Ayo. I mean, 20 years later, it took the sequel, but I mean, that's how good this movie was. That it took. I mean, remember when movies used to be so good that it took us 50 years to remake them, chat? Now we just remake everything all the time. It is what it is. Iconic stuff. Shout out to Samuel. Shout out to everybody involved, chat. It is what it is. Of course, R.I.P. the great John Singleton. I mean, anytime we get to watch John Singleton movie, we will definitely take that opportunity, chat. And I mean, we're also going to have to take any opportunity we can to watch these NBA games, because this next NBA game may be the last for the NBA season. We do not know. Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Thunder up 3-2. We will see what happens. We will be here live for it. Thursday night, of course, Friday night, our normal night, we will still be here live as well. So, I mean, we're not going anywhere, chat. We'll still be here live on the YouTube. If you guys want to follow us here, the live streams do go up on the podcast feeds as well, too. So they're up on Spotify and Apple Music and all of those different places as well, if you guys want to follow along there. And if you guys want to message us at REMINGTOM on Instagram, those DMs are open as well. What was the next movie, chat, that it queued up for us? The Running Man? 1987. Okay, probably not going to finish that one. Pause, but not a bad option. Arnold? Not because we don't want to watch it, but I guess we already said earlier there's like 7 of the movies we said we were going to watch tonight. So it is what it is, chat. We got the whole John Singleton filmography now I want to watch again. But yeah, we got to get to that, I guess. So we'll catch y'all later for Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and we'll see if Shea and the Thunder's dynasty, I guess, gets that first ring next time we are here, chat. Or will the Pacers continue to make it feisty and push the series to Game 7? Only we'll wait and find out, chat.